What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Sunday Night Football Watch Along right here on Forward Progress. It's Colts and Vikings presented by Fanduel. I am amped up right now. Heart is pounding. Had the Rams in this game. What a friggin' crazy game this was, man. Beauty of betting on the NFL. Just so many weird outcomes today. Lots of swings over the course of the day. But nice to come on in a good mood, rather than after the Hail Mary, which I witnessed last week with the Bears, because that one put me in a bad mood. So a good day today. I'm feeling great. Hopefully everyone else had a great day as well. Before we get into it, smash the like button down below. Share it out on your socials. You guys know the drill by now. See a lot of the usuals in here. Anthony, see you. Brandon, Wesley, Bart. Some new people in here as well. Welcome to Forward Progress. I don't love the game tonight from a betting perspective. We have a poll up right now. Vote on the poll. I'm going to build the SGP for tonight around the poll in tonight's game. If you watch Pizza Buffet this morning, I put up my numbers for this game. If anything, and they had to play last minute, I would lean slightly to the under, but just want you to know I'm not rooting for much here. Just a very, very, very small, forgettable bet on the Colts at a good number, and that's about it. So you won't see me rooting for one side or another today. I'm going to be more so looking to get involved in-game, potentially with something. But vote on the poll. I will build an SGP before the game. Now, I do want to talk about one prop in particular with this game, and it's centered around Josh Downs' receiving yards. So on Pizza Buffet this morning, I like to give my favorite prop looks for the day, and one of the, I'll call it service releases this week, which was bet heavily, was Javonte Williams unders. And there gets to be a point where things just move too far and you take a stance and say, no, we're getting ridiculous now. And Javonte Williams ends up cashing his over in a game where, honestly, the game state was so bad for Denver as well because of the amount that they were trailing by for the majority of the game. And the Josh Downs numbers kind of got out of hand today. Everyone bet the overs on the services on Josh Downs this week. Now, there's been a little bit of buyback here in the last hour. I think Hitman actually might have released it. Let me just double check. Yeah. So there's been a little bit of buyback, but regardless, I have to go Josh Downs under at this number at 62.5. That's my favorite prop look tonight. It's ugly. I think there are scenarios where maybe the Vikings do score a lot and the Colts have to throw. But the one thing about Josh Downs is it's not like his ADOT is super high this year either. ADOT, for those who don't know, average depth of target. When we look at the offense this year, it's not like he's getting open downfield or anything like that. So I think that number is a little bit too high. I want to play the under there. That's pretty much the only prop I feel strongly about. But I also want to go to the anytime touchdown scorer market and take a long shot on Mo Alley-Cox. I was going to play Mo Alley-Cox over on his receiving yardage because it's been bet down quite a bit, or I should say it is down quite a bit from where it's been at previous times in the year. The problem is that last week, there's 39 dropbacks. Mo Alley-Cox only ran a route 8 times. So he's primarily used in blocking. But against this Vikings team, I think he's going to have an opportunity or two in the red zone if they get there. And the reason why is Minnesota does like to send a lot of blitzes. You're going to get a lot of players one-on-one. Mo Alley-Cox, good receiver one-on-one. He knows how to box out, use his body. Plus 750. I think is a decent bet. Obviously, don't put a full unit on it, scale it down, but something like $15 on Mo Alley-Cox here would be an option. If you want to play a little bit more safe, I don't mind the receiving yardage over on Mo Alley-Cox, 9.5, but my preference is usually to take the long shot. I like to look for bigger payouts. If your bankroll can't do that and you don't want to, be betting all these long shot plays and a lot of variance, go for Mo Alley-Cox over 9.5. Howdy says, I don't think Hawk will be limited, honestly. It is really tough for me to figure out what the Vikings are going to do offensively. And that's why I don't love this game, and I'm staying clear from a lot of the Vikings offensive props. If you had to ask me, Rob, what's your favorite Vikings offensive prop? I would say I like Sam Darnold under on passing yards, but I didn't bet it. I want to make that fully clear. The 253.5 at Fanduel is a very good price relative to market, but I just don't know how this is going to play out for the Vikings. The only thing that they have said publicly is that they need to reduce their reliance on Aaron Jones. They've been using Aaron Jones as like this. I mean, his usage has been super high. Let's just put it that way, relative to Ty Chandler and even Cam Akers there. I think that there's maybe a little bit of value in Aaron Jones unders, but God, I love Aaron Jones, and God, it scares me to death of betting that particular prop. So not a lot for me from a props perspective in the early going. We'll hit some in-game markets for sure. We'll have some fun with to catch a pass markets, which by now you know that I am in love with. But that's really going to be it entering the game today. The poll has the Vikings as the more favored bet from the chat for tonight. So I'll build a SGP, and I'll put this in myself. I never give out bets that I don't make myself. I'll build an SGP around the Minnesota Vikings winning by margin tonight. So let's kick it off with a Vikings alternate spread at -9.5. I like to sell points in these instances. So we'll sell to 9.5 in this game and look for a Vikings double-digit win. If that happens, I like to, and again, this isn't rocket science, people. I do this on every stream. You can figure it out by now. But I like to go to the opposing quarterback and look at the alternate passing yards market. So we're going to go Joe Flacco, alternate passing yards. We're going to go 275 plus on Flacco. I actually really like this in a lot of instances anyways against Minnesota because they are such a boom or bust defense. They do blitz a lot. They leave their corners one-on-one. So I'm going 275 plus on Flacco. Ian says Flacco INTs. I get that, and I actually don't mind that if you want to bet it separately. But when we're pricing in these for these SGPs, it doesn't really boost the price all that much, in my opinion. And when you do get a Vikings blowout, in all likelihood, you can get the 275 plus. Also, just as Jason's pointing out on screen, we can't throw it in the SGP anyways. Finally, Jonathan Taylor is the bell cow. If they are trailing, I have a very strong feeling that Jonathan Taylor still remains in the game and he doesn't lose pass down reps to Trey Sermon or Tyler Goodson. That's just been the case for them. So we'll go 25 plus on Jonathan Taylor as well. We get this just above 16-1. You use your profit boost token tonight as well. You can get that up to like 24-1. I think that's a good one. If you're rooting for Vikings, let's go and play this. So I'm going to take 2 seconds here, get this into my account. And you know what? Listen, if you wanted to do something with the Colts, I would suggest going something very similar to this, where you just sell points on the Colts. So maybe you take Colts money line or Colts -2.5. You take Darnold over on his alternate, like an alternate passing yardage number, 300 plus, something like that. And then if I was going to take the Colts to win, I would think that Jonathan Taylor has a big game on the ground. So I'd go 100 plus alternate rush if you want to go the Colts instead. But just putting this in here. And we should be set to go. So that's locked and loaded. Vikings 9.5, 275 plus, 25 plus. Levi says he is betting Hawkinson to catch a pass first drive and a small bet on 2+. If he's healthy, he'll be involved early. I don't hate that look. Let's see what those prices are, Jason. I might tail that. Levi's been pretty hot on these, and I like the idea of getting a player back and getting them involved super early in the game as well. So first drive to catch a pass, TJ Hawkinson plus 187, and then 2+ is plus 1,000 or 1,100. All right. I can tail that. I can tail that for sure. All right. Wow. Early praise for producer Jason tonight. It's very unusual for the Sunday stream. Incredibly unusual.
I think I got everyone scared for after last Thursday.
Yeah.
The hammer is out. Let's just say that.
All right. We got to not ban people from the chat tonight. Listen, this is going to go two ways, people. First and foremost, Jason is my producer. I'm very reliant on him over the course of the show. I know you like to give him shit, and that's accepted. But you got to know when to draw the line. Because at the end of the day, he does get to put the hammer down. It's his choice who gets the shadow bans. 5 minutes, 30 minutes, lifetime. So you got to watch yourselves tonight, Nails. Got to watch yourselves tonight. All right, before we bring on Clive here, got Sunday Night Football tonight. We'll have our eyes on that game, Colts and the Vikings in the background. We will talk Week 10 openers at Fanduel. But make sure you bet the NFL season on Fanduel, America's #1 sportsbook. I love the sportsbook. We use it here on every single watch along. It's just really easy to use. There's lots of bet options. And right now, all customers get a profit boost every single NFL game day. That means you can pump up your gridiron winnings multiple times a week. And tonight, we have the Sunday Night Football SGP Profit Boost token. If you're tailing me, use the Profit Boost token. If you're not tailing me and you're playing your own, use the Profit Boost token. Makes a lot of sense. You can get some really good prices on these SGPs. FanDuel has tons of ways you can get in on the NFL action. You can bet money lines, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with super simple live betting, lightning fast bet settlement, and instant withdrawals, FanDuel makes betting on the NFL easier than ever before. Just visit fanduel.com/forward-progress to download FanDuel today. You must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in DC. Opt-in is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Hopefully everyone had a good day today. Was very up and down for me. I was cursing multiple times. I was celebrating. And you know what? It's just another NFL Sunday. As Scott Hansen says, we've reached the halfway point of the season now. Exactly half the amount of games have been played. Half more to go. It's been an A-OK season for Senor Pizzola. Let's see if it's been an A-OK season for Senor Bixby.
It has. Today was a good day.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We don't really talk a lot during the week about this. Is a weird show where we interact with each other Sunday night. We talk about the week ahead, but we don't talk much during the week. So I genuinely have no idea what you were rooting for today.
Yeah. So like we talked about last Sunday, I was on a couple of Ravens alts. So alt totals, alt spreads. I actually had the Arizona-Chicago under. What else did I have?
Oh, I was opposite you there.
Yeah.
That was one of my cursing today. I was very much cursing that one, although I didn't really deserve it, I will say.
Yeah, I took it at 44.5. And then what else did I have? A couple props. So just like a good ROI day, because a lot of them were not super long shots. The things that I lost on were a couple of touchdown scores, but for the most part, pretty good day.
That is good to hear. Last week, we did really well in getting good numbers for people, not necessarily great in results. So someone from our chat here has taken the onus of tracking everything and actually sent me a pretty detailed spreadsheet, including like no vig edge, no vig CLV, all sorts of stuff from last week's show. And it goes by Caustic in the chat, but Eagles -6.5, we gave out as an early number last week. That ended up closing 7.5, went through 7. I mean, that's one of those where it's like, what are you going to do? Like right side, wrong result. 100%. We talked about Denver, Baltimore over 43.5 on the stream last week. That closed just below 47. Easy winner there. Dallas, Atlanta over 48.5. We said that's too low. It closed 51.5, 3 points higher than that. Doesn't hit. Dak Prescott gets hurt. CeeDee Lamb gets hurt late in the game, though, I will say. Drake London gets hurt earlier in the game as well. Miami, Buffalo under. That was one that I talked about, which didn't get good CLV, was opposite right angle sports. It lost. I have some thoughts on that because it was extremely painful. Josh Allen's average depth of target today was 3 yards. I still don't really know how that lost, but it did. Chargers, Cleveland, we said the total was too low at 39.5. That also lost. Also closed with great CLV. What are you going to do?
41.5. Those are some big, those are important numbers to get through.
Yes, it is. Clive, you liked New England, Tennessee under 38.5. That one won with the 20-17 final. You also liked the Jets and the Texans under 42.5. And that one won as well with 34. So what are you going to do? I think we did a pretty good job last week of breaking down the board, with the exception of that Miami play that, didn't get great value. The rest really did. And I think over time, if you do that, it's going to be in your best interest to do that. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And for me, if I'm not, it's not often that I'm betting what we're talking about here on Sunday. It's normally a little earlier in the week because I want to kind of take a look and do a little analysis on my own. But if I don't change my mind, it tends to be relatively good results.
Yep. I would tend to agree with you there. Love this comment. With the amount of CLV you got in the discussion last week, you could be on Hit the Books. Classic. I saw Kanish hit victory lapping like the Hit the Books week this week. I think they went 13-3 or something like that. And he's in great spirits. Only needs like another dozen of those weeks. 11-3. Thank you, Jason. 11. I gave him too much credit for the victory lap. Yeah, only needs another 3 or 4 of those to get back to even. I do want to talk about some games today. This was an interesting one. Domani Jones says, what are your thoughts on going for 2 at the end of the game when you score to tie it up? Patriots, Dolphins, Seahawks all come to mind. I have some pretty strong thoughts on these types of scenarios. I was very explicitly tweeted about the Patriots today. Gerard Mayo not going for 2 on the last play of the game. And some people responded, well, the Patriots offense might be tired in this type of situation, as if the Titans defense wouldn't be tired in that.
No, they weren't on the field. The defense just, they're fine. Don't worry about them. They're
right. Okay. So first and foremost, overtime is not a 50-50.
No.
And people need to understand that. When the Patriots-Titans overtime starts, before they've done the coin flip, it's not going to be 50-50. The odds aren't going to be plus 100 both ways or minus 110 with the VIG. The Titans are going to be prohibitive favorites because they're the better team and they're favored in the game. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, by going for it there, it ends the game. It's the final play of the game. You don't give the other team a chance to move down the field, right? And the Buffalo-Miami one and the Seattle-LA Rams one are very different in the sense that you now incentivize the team to go down the field no matter what. So think about it this way, right? You go for 2, you take the lead. Now, no matter what, the opposing team is going to try to work down the field, no matter what. However, say the game is tied, Clive.
Yeah.
And your first play is an offensive holding, and it becomes 1st and 20. So many coaches will then say, okay, no, we're done here. We're going to take our chances with overtime. So the time remaining in the game matters. It is not just the situation. I thought Mayo made the mistake, and I thought McDaniel and Mike McDonald were fine in those situations.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth, right? Like, in the sense that when you go for it and you get it, depending on how much time's left on the clock, you force the other coach to play perfectly, right? Like they are going to make optimal decisions where they might not. The similar type of thing happens when you're up 3 and you kick a field goal to go up 6 late when the other team still has a possession. Instead of settling maybe for a tie, they know they have to go down for to score a touchdown. So I'm with you on all 3 of those choices, and it's 100% true. If you are the underdog, you should definitely be more inclined to want to go for 2 in that spot. Again, depending on time remaining.
Yep. Where does Nick Sirianni?
Sirianni's a fake shark. Like, let's just.
Yeah, I like he does some things that are smart. Okay, so like something that I would credit him with for being smart is they scored a touchdown. I want to say with let me just take a quick look. I want to say it was 16 seconds left in the first half, something like that. It's very late in the first half where they scored a touchdown. 22 seconds left, and they line up to go for 2 because
Standard Sirianni move.
Because you can't take your timeouts to the locker room. So they line up to just try to draw the team offside, and then they burn a timeout if they're not going to get it. They did this last week too. That logically makes sense to me to do that, right? Mm-hmm. Get out there, see if you could draw them offside. You get a 2-point attempt from the 1-yard line. But then he just does a lot of other brain dead things that are like, okay, makes no sense for this guy to do it. No sense to do it. And you look at the box score today for Eagles and Jags, and you cover the score in the game, you would look at it and you would be like, how did one of these teams not win by 3 touchdowns in the game? I mean, the Eagles had 446 net yards. The Jags had 215. The Jags turned it over 3 times. The Eagles won. It doesn't make sense. Like, that's got to be one of the worst beats, in my opinion, all year for you if you bet the Eagles today at any number that was available this week, because the game was so lopsided that it should have been completely done. And the Jags could have won.
What about that fumble? With Barkley. Yeah.
I don't like. He clearly got touched. Clearly,
when does it become a judgment call like that? I don't get that, because it's never been like that before. Like, if you rush somebody, like officiating today was weird. We can get into that too, I guess.
We sure can. But this is every week. Like,
it seems wildly inconsistent this week.
Yeah, I'm getting into it with people on Twitter today about Brian Branch being ejected for the Lions. And listen, by letter of the law, yeah, you can eject a player for that type of play. It also never happens in the NFL. When was the last time we've seen someone ejected for that specific type of play? And yeah, like, listen, I'm not condoning the actions of Branch. It's very clearly a 15-yard personal foul penalty. If you slow the play down as slow as you're slowing it, it also makes it always look like this player is headhunting and trying to kill someone. It's a bad hit. He got his 15 yards. Let's move on. If you're going to eject Brian Branch, they picked up a flag in Rams Seahawks at the end of the game for the same exact hit. They didn't even call a penalty on it. Like, how
that one looked a little different to me. It looked a little different. But I mean, the point still stands, right? Like, either call that type of penalty and eject people all the time, or none of the time. This was no more egregious than other helmet-to-helmet hits that I've seen on defenseless receivers. So to just decide to throw him out, like, was this an overcorrection because Olave got hit and he went to the hospital today, and they're like, oh shit, we better, start caring about this more?
Right. Could have been. And I feel bad for Olave, but like, this is another guy who's getting concussions all over the place. Big first down here, as on 3rd and 1, the Colts went downfield to Kylan Granson. I will do a quick play clock sync for everyone so that you guys know where we stand. And as the first quarter goes on here, we will definitely start taking a look at openers for next week and give our early thoughts. Play clock is at 12, 11, 10, 9, and there's a snap. And Taylor is
another first down
right up the middle. I'll do one more play clock sync. That one was pretty short there. 37, 36, 5, NBC graphic, replay. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Charles, this might make it to circle back this week. Tua passing yards was over by like 12 yards. And on the final play of the game, Jalen Waddle decided to run backwards about 30 yards after receiving it, looking for a lateral.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
There's the fumble.
That just squirted out instantly.
This is the play. Jason has it up on screen here. So lateral, Waddle just keeps running back, and then just takes a tackle there. And Tua over. He was up by 10.5 yards. Jalen Waddle ran back for 24 yards. Tough beat. Also,
there are very few things that I call bad beats like that. Listen, shit happens, right? Like things that are even within like the 5% range of outcomes. That's not a bad beat to me. That's a bad beat. Like backwards 25 yards. It's not the same as like a quarterback taking a kneel, like for a rushing prop.
Yeah,
but it seems to be more prevalent lately.
This guy didn't even know that his bet won. He thought it was toast. Yeah. That was a winner, people. That was a winner. Tua under ended up winning because of that. And Hitman played that as well. That's how you know it's his year. Hitman's Saturday show is hilarious, man. That guy's catching all the breaks this year after catching none of them last year.
Total opposite of last year.
It should be noted, though, like, these things are within the range of outcomes.
They are.
Right? So I know it feels terrible. And listen, I'm not saying if I did not bet this, just out of full disclosure here. However, had I been on the over and I lost that way, I would have been irate.
Yeah.
But you got to take a step back at some point and be like, well, it's a football play. What are you going to do?
It feels like an own goal. Like that's what it kind of feels like. Or it feels like a tip in your own basket. Like that's how shitty it feels. But they do happen.
Yeah. Yep. It's true.
Hitman, but if that's not a bad beat,
gotta give the guy credit. Yeah, no, it definitely is, right? It definitely is. I think whenever, it's really hard to define a bad beat.
Yeah.
But when you're like 99.9% to win and you lose, it's a bad beat. Like that's just not going to happen very often, right?
Yeah.
You lost on something that's going to happen 1 out of 1,000 times. Like, yeah. Listen, I will say the Rams Seahawks game today was insane. It was nuts.
Totally illogical. Like Geno Smith threw 2 or 3 balls right to Rams defenders.
Yeah. Yeah.
One in the end zone, obviously.
It was like he was watching. You must have been watching Jameis in the early slate today.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, that was painful. So I'm in like the one place where I did lose was we have like a teaser pool where you have to pick 10-point teasers, ties or losses, but you have to win them all. I took the Browns today, with the low total, they were getting 1.5, add 10 on top of that. So 11.5, you have to take 4. So I chose that one. And boy, did Winston look like Winston. Like he's Jameson everywhere. What just happened here?
Josh Oliver, 9-yard pass. So Oliver in on the first series here.
But it's Winston. I'd still take Winston over Watson 100 times out of 100.
Oh, but it's not even close.
This is the outcome you get when you're dealing with Winston sometimes. Like he tries to force shit, and it's just ugly as sin.
Yeah. Jason's pointed out Josh Oliver was 10-1 on TD props, but I don't think that, like, how much run can Oliver get today over Hawkinson and Johnny Munt? I don't know. I feel like that's not a great one to piggyback.
Yeah, is this just a part of their scripted plays that they're trying to get somebody involved early? Like, I don't think this is going to be a consistent theme throughout the game.
Yeah. Hawkinson was in on that play as well. So they were going 2 tight end set to start. Be interesting to watch today. Are we sure when like Jameis Winston had LASIK surgery that it didn't affect the colors he was seeing? Because
I'm not sure.
He was throwing them directly at Chargers defenders. Like
on the plus side of the field, it was so painful to watch. I'm like, all right, it's 20-3. A touchdown gets me within range. okay, it's 20-6. A touchdown gets me within range, and another like throw right into a defender's hands. It's Jameis. And then
It's
I saw
James.
his I saw his pregame like God whole thing. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see it with sound. I don't
You
know why I
needed
didn't watch.
sound.
Yeah.
You needed sound
Mm.
because I couldn't
Well,
tell if he was serious or not. There's
yeah.
Hawkinson.
There we go. There's Hawk. Cash it. That's one. That's one thus far, shooter. Let's get a second, baby. That would be a nice start to the night tonight if we can get a second one there. I'm just trying to think of. Okay, let's. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, this came across my feed and it was playing in the background, but I didn't have sound on.
How are you doing, man? Thank you for joining us. Blessed and highly favored, man. Extremely grateful for the day. And we're extremely grateful to have you. You guys had a huge win last week, but it's a new day, a new week, a new opponent. What's your message to your team going into this one? It's nothing about today. Today we have to be firm in our foundation, firm in the Lord, and we stand in ground. We dependent on the Lord. There's nothing else that we can depend on but Him.
It's 2 minutes
listen,
of that. It's
yeah,
2 minutes.
I'm not. Don't take me as anti-religion or anything like that, right? You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. I don't, I don't discriminate or whatever. But yeah, that's a tough watch if it's 2 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Pastor Jameis. Pastor Jameis.
The Lord was not on his side today.
No. I'm trying to get some updated data to do a quick data dump before we start our games for today. Just so that I have like the latest numbers that I can add in to everything. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it here without completely freezing my computer. Other games of note today. Baltimore, Denver was a big one. You mentioned you played alts on Baltimore. I feel like a lot of people just didn't. I hate to say this after the fact, right? Because I make bad handicaps all the time. So let me just get that out of the way. But Denver had such a ridiculous schedule of opposing offenses that they've played this year, and they finally played a real one. And it just spiraled, got out of hand. And who's slowing down Baltimore? Honestly, who's going to be the defense that does it? That offense is it's above elite right now.
Well, yeah, and I mean the play that Zay Flowers turned into a touchdown was pretty damn ridiculous. And they got Cincinnati on Thursday night, and the total's moving up as we speak. So it's. And I honestly don't know if it's enough. I didn't have over 40 for the Ravens. I had over 34.5.
Right.
And the only thing that I was slightly concerned about was that Denver wouldn't do their part offensively. And I don't think Knicks played well, and they didn't do well anyway. I mean, the game ended at score 51 total. So they scored 41.
Yeah. My thing with Bo Nix, I've seen a lot of him now, and he clearly he's much better than he was at the beginning of the year, because if he doesn't have something, he'll use his legs a lot more. He can pick up yardage that way. I know that they really simplified the offense for him. They thought that at the beginning of the year, they were just trying to do too much, and they've simplified it. The problem is that he is inaccurate, and he just misses on so many throws that they scheme up open receivers, or he's got to put it into like a certain window, and he can't make those throws. And that to me is like why I think the ceiling on Knicks is not that high. He just can't make certain throws, and oftentimes he sails them so bad they turn into turnovers. Like I can't watch that.
I'm trying to remember the sequencing, and I apologize, Nails, if I'm wrong on this. I think it was the play before the Philly special where he had somebody wide open in the back of the end zone, and he overthrew him by about 10 feet airborne. It's that kind of stuff that he continues to do where he's missing open guys.
Well, like I was going to blow a gasket in that game because
what did you have in that game?
Oh, tons of over. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it was my biggest total of the year, and there was nothing remotely close. because we just kept adding. And then there was a group that wanted under. I'm like, all right, sure. Let's just add to our position. And the way that game started, I'm like, oh, there's no way we're going to get here. And if that ended up turning into a goal line stand there where they tried the Phillies, oh boy, Darnold is peak. That's peak Darnold right there. Peak.
I don't have anything on this game, but shit.
Yeah. I mean, what's he doing? I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's throwing away across his body. He just doesn't see the underneath receiver. There's 2 Colts that could have picked that off.
Well, how could he even see his receiver? There's 2 guys in front of him.
That was Hawkinson. So maybe that's something.
Well, at least we know he was throwing to him. At least we know who he was throwing to him. But yeah, the way that Baltimore Denver game started, I want to say that I thought there was like another 4th down stop earlier on. It was just a horrible sequence of events. The first punt got down like inside the 10. It was painstaking for me.
I think it went fumble in field goal range. Lamar takes
it was an interception, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, an interception. You're right. Turnover. Ravens get to about the 25 to 30, somewhere in that range. Lamar takes a 3rd down sack.
He ate a big sack on 3rd down. Oh my God, I was losing it there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens early. I'm like, oh, gee. Oh, I also had Justin Tucker overs today too. So, and then it went punt.
They punted to the Denver 2. They punted to the Denver 2, and Denver went all the way to Baltimore territory.
Yep,
and turned it over on downs.
Yes. I'm like, oh, Jesus, is this what's going to happen today? And then even still, they still flew over the total.
That happened. I know Baltimore scored a touchdown to go up 7-0. And then I'm almost certain Denver drove the field again and turned it over on downs at like the Baltimore 30. Because they had back-to-back drives where they turned it over on. Anyways, it's good to have those and still win without even sweating. And some people might say, well, it was only 51. Like, you didn't win without a sweat. It was a pretty sweat-free win once that game started going.
Yeah.
At one point. So we just 3-point fourth quarter is pretty much all it was. All right. Let's look ahead to next week, Clive. You brought it up already. Yeah. You mentioned the Thursday night football game, which is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. Early number at Fanduel here is Ravens -6.5, -105. That's pretty consistent across the market. You do see some 6s as the opener. Total is 51.5. And Fanduel's 51.5 is actually the lowest number in market right now. So if you like the over in the early going, you do want to bet that at Fanduel. This game, Clive, brings back some serious PTSD for me because I bet the Bengals at home against the Ravens. They had like 3 double-digit leads in the second half of that game and couldn't close it out, and they lost. The total has been adjusted up from where it was on the look ahead. I did look at this earlier today because I was trying to buy some over on the look ahead as well.
What was it, 49.5-ish?
It was 50, yeah. 50. I saw someone in the chat already said, like, this is 51.5 is too low.
I agree.
Yeah. Where's the defense coming from in this game on a short week? I mean, my only concern, right, is the Bengals have offensive injuries. They have T. Higgins out. They have their left tackle, Orlando Brown, out. That could affect them. But the Ravens are such a pass funnel defense that I'm not sure. Like, we're going to get into a game state here where Baltimore is going to basically score on the majority of their drives, and Bengals got to keep up, and they can in the passing game. That's what Cincinnati can do.
Yeah. And I think any kind of legitimate offense today from the Raiders would have resulted in a lot more points too. This could be a real barn burner. Ron Mexico says he makes it 53.5. I figured it would get to 54. That's kind of the number that I have in mind.
Well, so the number I have in mind for Ravens and Bengals totals this year has not necessarily matched the number that the market has in mind on these teams.
Yeah, I'm talking about the market too, to be specific, and not what I think is going to happen, where I think the market's going to land.
So you think it's going to go up to that?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it'll go to 53.5 to 54. It might get bet down once it gets to 54, maybe. This is, again, I'm just predicting the market, but I think my number would be higher than that.
Because every high total takes under money at some point in the week. There was some game day under on Dallas Atlanta today, which won. You know, for me, this is all about market timing and like whether or not. I agree that my first instinct is that the total is low. My second instinct is like if this goes to 7, I got to plug my nose and take Cincinnati. I think at that point, because I think the offense is good enough to keep them in a game. But I don't really know where this is going to go. I really don't. I don't have a good feel for how the market views either of these teams. I've been heavily involved in a lot of their games this year, and I have not gotten the greatest CLV on any of them. You know, Bengals under bet again today. John says close 44. I didn't even realize that it closed 44. More game day under. That's happened all year with Cincinnati. Like,
I don't know why.
Listen, I get like no left tackle, no wide receiver, no number 2 wide receiver, but fucking Burrow's cooking this year. Like, I don't know if people realize the year Burrow's having right now, EPA wise.
Yeah, I was just going to pull up, and even this was modest for him, like 0.19 EPA per play, but 81.2 series success or series conversion rate, 54 success rate. He's been good, and he hasn't been taking a lot of bad sacks. Some, I mean, you know, that offensive line can still be an issue. They're not getting a ton from their running game either, yet he's still managing to move the ball. And good call on Gesicki today, by the way.
Thank you. Blind nut finds a squirrel, they say. Blind nut finds a squirrel. I'm looking back to week 5 when these teams played in Cincinnati. There was each team averaged 6.8 yards per play. Absurdly high. Both teams had at least 345 net yards passing. Yes, the game went to overtime. Take it with a grain of salt. And there were 8 punts in the game, and they still ended up with 76 points in regulation. I think the number is too low.
Yeah, I think it's too low too. What about pace? Do you have any? I don't have any pace numbers up like on Cincinnati, like plays per game that they're getting, or that's probably not the way I want to describe it.
Well, the only issue I have with that is so the problem with pace metrics is that they differ strongly in game state. And like in this type of situation, I do think Cincinnati's going to want to play extremely slow. Like they're not going to want Baltimore's offense to be out on the field all game, because that's just they just wear you down over and over and over. So maybe that's has an impact on how I view this game later on in the week, right? This is just my initial gut reaction on everything. But I mean, Baltimore is just like, if they did this to Denver's defense today, I mean, they just do this every week is what it comes down to. Has there been like, what are the Ravens totals this year? I mean, this week, okay, 51, last week, 53, 72, 53, 79. Week 4 was 45. 45 was their lowest scoring game of the year, week 4.
Who was that against? Buffalo? Who's got a decent defense? And Buffalo plays slow too.
Agreed. And that game was just they got out to such a. It was basically like the game today, where the Ravens didn't really need to do anything late in that game.
Yeah.
Right. They were up like 21-3 at half. Sit on the lead, run the ball with Derrick Henry. Type of thing.
I don't know. Like, is this a thing where people think Cincinnati's defense is better than it is? Like, because I don't understand the under movement constantly either, because it can't be the offense. The offense is just hummed.
It's not. BJ Hill got hurt on their defensive line today. He's got a rib injury as well. I think me and
I don't have a good answer.
I'll have to dig in because listen, like
FanDuel's already up to 52.5.
yeah.
Light juice, but 52.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I don't, full disclosure that if you're watching the first time and you don't know, I don't really bet until later in the week usually. I don't have my numbers readily accessible to me now because I don't do like a simple power ratings of this team is this team is that, this is what it should be. I simulate the matchup with those two specific teams going head to head. So I can't say with certainty, but I will say that I've been like the overs and these teams for a long time this year. I don't think that's going to change this week. And I don't think that this has been bet up enough, I will say. Okay, let's keep it going here. We'll do rotation number per usual. We got a Germany game next week. Suma and the German fans are being treated to an absolute barn burner between the New York Giants and Carolina Panthers.
On a winning streak, Carolina Panthers.
We'll talk about that in 1 second. Neutral site game, early market at Fanduel is 5.5, juice towards the Panthers. So Panthers are 5.5, getting 15 cents there, and the total is 41.5. If you want the Panthers, FanDuel's a spot to bet it right now because they have the best Panthers number in market. I tweeted this. I didn't tweet this today. I actually sent this to a friend who I knew, unfortunately, had a lot of Saints in Survivor.
Ooh.
But it was a Bill Barnwell tweet that was the Saints outgained the Panthers by 150 plus yards. They ran for 150 plus yards, and they won the turnover battle. Over the last 20 years, teams had gone 275-0 with that formula. Now 275-1.
That's a day.
I don't know how the Panthers won today. Well, I know like things that contributed. The Saints took 1 million penalties, 10 penalties, 109 yards. The Saints lost the player on offense that they can ill afford to lose in Chris Olave because it just really hurts their ability to stretch the field in any sort of capacity. I believe Jawan Johnson also got hurt
He left
in game
for a while. I
and
don't know if he came back. Did he come back?
Yeah. I know he was not on the field for a long time. Even with all that, the Saints pretty much dominated the game. 427 yards, Panthers 246. I have to do some like investigative research into what happened here, but the Panthers are still not a real football team. They're not real. I know that they won here. They're not real. The question is whether or not I can stomach laying points with the Giants as well.
So that's the hard part here, right? Like, one, Giants are terrible too. And you're gonna have them win by margin. Like, is there really that much of a difference? Like, what are Giants? Probably 29th, 30th best team, and Panthers are 32. Is it really that?
I think it's that big. I do.
Is it more Panthers injuries like that we had this week? Because that's kind of what enticed me to take New Orleans in a contest pool.
The Giants kind of mildly figured out their offense today.
What, by letting Daniel Jones run the ball? Like, that's really
that was part of it. But like the Giants had 25 first downs today. The Giants looked more competent against Washington's defense than most teams did this year, with the exception of Baltimore. It's not like they had a decent game. I think there might be market appetite for the Panthers here. But I'm in like the exact same boat that I pretty much am in every single week, which is, okay, Forget about the Panthers. This is not a real football. Like their left tackle, Ike Ekwonu's out. They have a center playing left tackle. They're playing backup center. They got 1 million players on IR on defense. They have no offensive weapons whatsoever. I mean, this was the Saints without their top 3 cornerbacks and Rico Payton, a depth cornerback, also injured as well. And they put up 4.9 yards per play on this team and a 41% success rate. That's like the best offensive output you could possibly ask for out of the Panthers.
That's fair. I'm looking at the EPA per play for Washington today, and geez, this game.
Yeah,
I think
but that's Washington. But that's Washington, Clive. Washington does that. Like that's what they do to teams.
Yeah, the game somehow got closer than, I think the metrics would really indicate.
I'm gonna have to have more. Like I say this every week, but I really have to have a serious conversation with myself. Like when we get off air today, I might have to take like one of those cold showers and just like sit on the shower floor and let the water hit me and say, do I really want to consider the Giants next week, or do I just cross this game off my list? Because that's going to be the convert. Some books are at 4.5 right now. Some market making books, like if it goes down to 4, I think I'm going to auto buy the Giants.
Yeah, I think that's when you click New York Giants.
Hopefully with an orange. Definitely not. I'm not having an orange in the shower. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know, man.
I'm not in a rush to bet this. The total seems 41.5 seems like it's the lowest in market right now. That kind of feels high to me. Even with the scenario that the Panthers are in from a defensive standpoint. It feels high. Again, I barely saw anything of the Panthers games other than highlights. So
yeah. We don't really talk about and the lines aren't open this early for this yet, but when we look at like what's the implied score right here with a total of 41.5 and 5.5, we're looking at like 23-18 type of final implied.
Yeah.
If the Panthers team total is in like the 17.5 range for this game, I like the under.
Yeah.
That to me is the look on this game. Panthers team total under.
Or I'd probably rather click Giants alts too, for spread. I don't think total.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where 4.5 might be the median, but there might be a different. Talk to Judah this week. There might just be a different tail end distribution where the Giants blow out this team by 21. Like I could see that happening.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with this comment here. Bryce Young, since he's returned, hasn't been good by any means, but he hasn't been total dog shit. He was complete and utter dog shit last week. I thought that was in the Broncos game. They ran a scripted drive for a touchdown. They then had 6 first downs on the next 8 drives and didn't score till garbage time. I'm telling, like today, they played the most decimated secondary that any team is going to put on the field this year. And they still were trailing the majority of the game. Giants -4 is a play, John. If you have Giants -4, I would be clicking that instantaneously. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the market does with this game. One thing I will say about today was there was a clear wall for the Giants at seven and not the Giants, the Panthers. Every single time the Saints got bet out to like a flat 7.5, Panthers took a little bit of money every time that happened. So there is some interest in the market in the Panthers, and whoever bet those today might have interest next week as well, because they end up winning those. Anyways, let's get to more games here because we want to try to get as many in before the half. Indy's in action right now. They're hosting the Buffalo Bills next week. This won't be widely available, so we'll just give some quick thoughts here. But FanDuel has the Bills laying 4.5 on the road and the total at 47.5 for this game. Amari Cooper didn't play today. Probably back next week. Christian Benford didn't play today for the Bills. I don't know what his status is like. I feel like 4.5 is a little too much with Buffalo on the road. Like, they went to Seattle a couple weeks ago and they were -3, and now they're going to be 4.5 on the road at the Colts. Now, granted, I like Buffalo in that game. It just feels like a titch too high. You disagree.
I definitely
can
think
see it in
gets,
your face. I can see that you disagree.
I think it's close to right, but
Okay.
I don't think it's going to go out towards the Bills. I think 4.5 might draw a little Colts money. Like it's close. I think,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just higher on the Bills than I should be, relative to market. I mean, there are a couple of 4s out there.
Yeah.
I think 4.5 would probably draw Indy money.
The Amari Cooper thing is big for me. Honestly, it's really big. The Bills, I said this off the top, they're 8. Josh Allen's ADOT today was 3.6. They don't have anything downfield right now. They basically scored their points on Miami missing 1 million tackles today.
Yeah. They tried to it looked like they were trying to get the ball to Shakir in very short patterns, get the ball to Cook. I mean, which is kind of what they want to do anyway. I mean, the one pick that Keon Coleman just basically almost handed the ball.
You know what? That's true. Like that's a play that doesn't show up in the box score that should have been a touchdown and resulted in a Jalen Ramsey interception as Hawkinson catches a ball here over the middle.
I mean, that is just
I just
an
want to quickly
unlucky pick.
Yes. What are you going to do there? I'm looking at EPA against cover 3 this year because we know Gus Bradley's going to play a ton of cover 3. Josh Allen has pretty much been cooking cover 3 this year. Going back to last year, if I can just take a quick look at this and pull these numbers up, we'll see if it was a similar pattern because Josh Allen last year was well below average against cover 3. All right. I got a lot of work to do on this game. Just subjectively felt a little bit high to me. But you're right. That play was definitely interesting.
What is happening here?
That was a backwards pass.
Yeah.
This is a great play because they disguised it. Oh, that's a really, really well executed play.
Yeah.
Great disguise there. Justin Jefferson, look at that arm on him, man. He's fucking more accurate downfield than Bo Nix is.
I mean, that's right in his hands, and Jones almost chopped it anyway.
I know. He put it right on the perfect spiral, directly in the numbers. Couldn't get a better throw than that.
Wow.
Couldn't get a better throw than that. All right, keep it going along here. We got Minnesota in action now at Jacksonville. Again, we can only give some quick thoughts here. Early number on this game is Minnesota -4.5, -115.
I think this is coming back.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's see what they sort out. Today, I've never seen more flags picked up than today.
That's fair.
So you don't know. I think it was Grover Stewart that busted up the middle.
Oh, touchdown.
There. Wow. Defensive touchdown. Sam Darnold pumpkin season is in full effect. Halloween is come and gone, but Sam Darnold remains a pumpkin.
Oh my God. He just absolutely ran right through him.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get him for a face mask because it looked like his head. Oh, no, they didn't. It wasn't.
No, he did contact him in the head. I'm surprised they didn't. It's whether it's like forcible contact to the head, right? Listen again. I've seen way worse than that called in the NFL.
Yeah,
before.
For sure.
But I'm glad they didn't because it's lame.
I saw his head turn and I thought it got him in the face mask, which is why I thought it was coming back. But it really was. I mean, he just tried to tackle him and for fuck's sake, like, can we let these people play football?
I'm with you. Okay, so Early numbers, Minnesota minus 4.5 at Jacksonville, 46.5. There's lots of this game to play. I just have 2 cents on this game, which is if Jacksonville
sucks.
does not get like Gabe Davis, I can't even believe I'm saying like Gabe Davis back, but Gabe Davis, their left guard, Ezra Cleveland, their center, Mitch Morse, left today, but I think he cleared concussion protocol. I think he's going to be fine. That's not a real offense. It's not. Flores will
so
destroy
sad that it's dependent on Gabe Davis. But I hear you.
But Minnesota's turning into a pumpkin in front of our eyes too, like in the last few weeks.
That's true.
I would kind of hope that there's some market support for Jacksonville in that game and that I could bet Minnesota. That would be my hope.
I mean, I would probably, there's some 47.5s out there. If they're still out there, if they're truly out there, I'd probably click under.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I do. Jags defense is brutal, and they play a ton of man. The Vikings have receivers that can cook man coverage.
That's true.
What's Darnold's EPA against man this year?
What's Justin Jefferson's EPA versus man defense? I mean, it's got to be through the fucking roof.
Yeah, I like these guys win on the outside. Addison too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably.
But you know what? I don't hate the look. I don't hate the look because Jacksonville's offense is not real offense. I look at the box score today. I'm like, how did these guys score points?
Yeah, maybe it's a Vikings team total over and just leave it at that.
Yeah, 36% success rate for the Jags today. Okay. Pittsburgh, who is on their bye, hits the road to take on the Washington Commanders. I'm seeing this number here, which is Washington minus 2.5. Total is 44.5 in the game. Juice towards the under. And I've been fading the Steelers with no success, losing bets. I lost on the Jets against the Steelers. I lost on the Giants against the Steelers. Zach Frazier will probably be back at center for Pittsburgh, and I assume Brian Robinson will be back for Washington. I think you get healthy team versus healthy team.
This feels like a Steelers spot that I'd want to take and feel terrible about it, but I kind of feel like this is a.
So this is what I wanted to say here. I do not think that the market ever lets this number close 3 because there's too much appetite for the Steelers at those numbers where it's Pittsburgh as an underdog. This is the spot. They take money in these situations. However, I want to bet Washington in this game. My first instinct is, again, the commies they continue to be undervalued. I feel like I look at them every week and I scratch my head and I say, do people not watch this offense play?
Yes.
Like throw out Chicago last week. That's Jaden Daniels coming back off a rib injury. He still fucking cooked that defense. They just couldn't score in the red zone. Like basically the Commanders' only bad games are where they don't score in the red zone.
That's true.
I
also look at their defensive strength.
Yeah.
Their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
This is the only real test that they've had from a defensive standpoint. Like this is their first real test. Tampa, Giants, Cincy, Arizona, Cleveland with Deshaun, like who's a fucking nightmare and played them into some bad spots.
They destroyed that defense though.
They did.
Destroyed it. Yeah.
Baltimore's a real defense, but they're not. They are susceptible to the pass. Carolina, Chicago. I don't know.
Let's hear thoughts on the total, is what AG says. Okay. Let's see your thoughts on the total.
I
44.5. Quick look.
Let me look at Pittsburgh's strength of schedule too, because I don't think it's been particularly good. So their defense, the same way that I thought Denver's defense was completely overrated and got cooked today.
Yeah.
They haven't played a serious offense either. So yeah, okay.
I don't have a strong opinion on that total as it stands, right? Here's the problem I personally have.
What a hit.
Oh, that was a huge tackle right there, Franklin. Here's the problem I have with this particular game. I cannot come around mentally on Russell Wilson being a good quarterback again.
Oh, he's not a good quarterback.
This is a fatal flaw I have in handicapping the Steelers right now because I view Russell Wilson as washed. I strongly believe that the Commanders will move the ball in this game. I think they'll move. I don't think the Steelers secondary is all that good. I think the one thing Washington does really, really well, that Cliff Kingsbury does well, is get the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands quickly, schemes up very quick throws that offsets this Pittsburgh pass rush. Someone pointed out the Steelers have a lot of history with like facing Lamar Jackson. That's a fair point. You know, they do. The market, people tend to overvalue the bye week, I would say. The Steelers can't practice during the bye week, people. They just go home and they spend a week with their family and they recover. And they're pretty healthy right now anyways. I don't know how much of an impact it has. You know, if you're asking me my opinion on the total, it feels a little low, but like not egregiously low to me.
I'm checking some red zone stats for the commies. Because it feels like when the field gets compressed, they struggle a little bit. I mean, Jane Daniels has made a couple decent throws to McLaurin, but other than that,
yeah. You have so honestly, I might be talking myself into the over here. I'm just looking at Washington's schedule. Forget about the Mariota game against Carolina. Forget about week 8 against Chicago. I think you can kind of throw the game out because Daniels is playing injured. And you know, you're looking at a team that pretty regularly is playing high-scoring games. And the Steelers' offense, while I don't like Russ, they're better with Russ right now. He can throw down.
Yeah, because he can throw the ball
Fields can't throw down. Yeah, Fields can't throw. He wouldn't even try. Fields would not even try a deep ball.
Like, why even have Pickens on the field, like with Justin Fields? Like, because he would never throw it to him. Whereas I think Russell Wilson's throwing some bad balls that Pickens is making some plays on, which is nice, but to your point, it's not Russell Wilson being a good quarterback. It's just him being willing to throw in a one-on-one situation.
NFC South next week, Saints hosting the Falcons. Early number in this game. And by the way, there's like a million things to parse through for this particular game. Falcons are laying 3 on the road, 3 minus 115. Some books have already moved to 3.5. Total is 47.5. So this is a really tough one to bet early, in my opinion, because you have a Drake London hip injury and the offense without Drake London. I mean, you lose wide receiver 1, it has an impact. The Saints are like Chris Olave concussion. Their center Lucas Patrick left with a calf injury. They have multiple cornerback injuries. You know, like gut feel for me is honestly might not be the worst idea to take the -3, -15 with Atlanta, with the possibility of multiple cornerback injuries for the Saints again next week. I don't really know what to do here because I don't like either of these teams, but it just seems like these injuries are a lot to overcome for New Orleans right now.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And 47.5 is the lowest total in the market. There's actually 48 and 48.5 out there too, I think.
See, like people are saying under might also be a look. I don't think so.
It's total under is what I would look at, not the total.
Well, it really depends on, like Olave had a bad concussion, but he went to the hospital. They discharged him. He flew home with the team. Like he's going to go through protocol. There's I don't know what the chances that he's going to pass it, but it's a possibility. The Falcons do not generate a pass rush at all. Like, Carr can dink and dunk his way through that defense. He can. The other side, 53-yard field goal, KOC? That was not a good decision.
I couldn't tell if that got tipped or it was going to hook.
Just wide right, man. Just wide right. If Drake London plays in this game, the Falcons will continue to score at will. Kirk Cousins, when kept clean, which will happen in this game, against the secondary that is missing multiple DBs, will cook. Like, if we're thinking about team total for this game, a -3, 47.5, we're looking at like an implied score of 25-22 type of thing.
Yeah.
Falcons will score in the upper 20s.
Yeah. It's the Saints where I don't think they'll hold up their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
But to your point, like, Falcons don't put up a very good pass rush. They can get the ball to Kamara. They can do a couple of other little things and keep the game close.
Olave makes such a huge difference. Like, for this offense, it is the difference of having Olave, Tipton, Cedric Wilson versus having Tipton, Cedric Wilson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is night and day. It's not even, they need him on the field there. They need him. I haven't seen updates on Drake London yet. He was riding a bike on the sideline for most of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Jamil makes a good point. I think 48's too high, both London and I would agree. If London and Olave are out, I think it's so you can take a stance on that now. For me, it's just guesswork. And to me, it's like equal opportunity both ways. I don't know. Tough one. I wish I could have had something here because it's a multiple injury type of game, but I don't think I can pull the trigger on anything this early just yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is something where you have to wait to understand a little bit better what the teams are going to look like. I like to bet early as much as the next person, but there's just too much uncertainty.
Yeah. I'm going to skip over the next couple games now just to get as many in as we can. It's Denver, KC, which we're going to, we haven't seen KC till Monday Night Football. San Fran, Tampa, same deal. So I'll skip those two for now, and we'll go New England and Chicago. With the early market in this game, Chicago -6.5, -118. Most of the market has moved out to 7 in this game. The total is 38.5, -115 to the over at Fanduel. That total is too low, I think.
What was the total? Sorry.
38.5 juice to the over. New England got out of the game unscathed. New England was unscathed today. They had a fully healthy O-line. It didn't really seem to matter. I'm saying this is too low because of the amount of injuries that the Bears have on defense. Montez Sweat, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Andrew Billings hurt his chest today as well, left on the defensive line. The offensive line issues that they had today with Braxton Jones being out and the right tackle Darnell Wright being out, they don't really manifest themselves against New England. Like, New England's not the team that's going to exploit that.
That's true. I mean, what do you think of Drake May? Like, and I'm not just talking about the final play that was, a circus play.
I like Drake May.
I do too.
I think he's young, and he, the interception he threw to end the game in overtime didn't need to make that throw. Like, that's a young learning quarterback, but
yeah, he
is fairly accurate, has some zip on his ball. His mobility is an asset for him as well. Like, people, you can roast Drake May all you want and look at the statistics, but he's operated behind a horrible offensive line for most of the year with Demario Douglas as his number one, Kayshon Boutte. Like, May's solid. I think May's going to be a good pro.
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe I'm just scarred as a Bear fan, but I think I'll have interest at the Pats at 7.
Yeah. So that was my first thought too. And the only thing I want to say about that, I don't know if this is a thing or not, and it very well could not be a thing. But Caleb Williams this year has absolutely fucking sucked on the road and has played pretty well at home, relatively speaking. Young quarterback. I don't know if there's something there.
I guess I haven't noticed.
Yeah. I believe now that we've hit 7 that my only thoughts could be, especially when you consider this injury situation. Honestly, I could talk myself into betting Pat 7. I could. Because you just have so much. Again, New England finished healthy today. They're missing Kyle Duggar right now, and there's a chance he could be back on D. Chicago's down left tackle, right tackle, starting defensive end, starting defensive tackle, starting cornerback, starting safety right now.
Yeah, they're not good enough to withstand that, and to give 7.
I mean, is Bears D just too good? The Bears D is shit right now. Not only is it not good, now, okay, Washington moved up and down the field on them last week. It's Arizona this week. Those are average to above average offenses. I would say both above average. And in the case of Washington, bordering on elite. But so this is a downgrade for the Bears D. But I don't know if you were watching James Conner just run down the heart of the Bears D over and over and over today.
Yeah, he just trucked people. That's what scares me about the over in this game, because I think for a couple weeks now, Caleb Williams, I don't know that he's taken necessarily a step back, but he was taking, it seemed like, a couple steps forward, and now it seems like he's plateaued a little bit. I don't think he played well at all today.
He didn't, but he was running around all game. He honestly didn't have a chance in hell today. I didn't handicap that game properly because I didn't think Arizona was going to be able to generate as much pressure as they did. Arizona's coaching staff is very good, I would say, and New England's is not. That's might be the difference this upcoming
fair.
week.
I could see that. I guess the way I look at Caleb Williams is he doesn't compound the bad as much as a Will Levis did, but he still compounds the bad by holding on to the ball too long and too many negative plays. And when people are open, he hasn't been accurate enough, or he's not seeing them quickly enough. So that's what I worry about. But the Pats have a talent deficit.
The Bears had a 29% success rate and 3.4 yards per play today. It was pathetic.
Cardinals isn't that good of a defense. Meaning, your point is very, very well taken that they were able to get a lot of pressure today. They're just not the most talented group in the world, is what I guess I'm getting at.
Agreed. The 7, I think, is valuable right now. As it stands right now, and again, this could easily change by end of week, but you have so many significant injuries to the Bears that I think the 7 is valuable right now. And I think, honestly, Chicago's coaching staff's not much to write home about either.
They're effing awful. I know we talked about the 4th down decision, which that's not unforgivable, but what Joey says in the chat, the touchdown they gave up at the end of the half, the DeMarcado running play.
DeMarcado. Oh my God, man. That guy ran in untouched. Yeah.
That looked like Tecmo Super Bowl, when I had Bo Jackson and he was open and just gone.
Yep. I agree with you. Titans go out on the road to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Early market, Chargers laying 8.5 at Fanduel. That's a little bit off market. The rest of the market is right around 7.5 right now. And the total in the game, 37.5, juiced towards the over. Chargers had again, a great defensive game. Jasir Taylor is one of their corners who is dealing with this lingering fibula injury, has had to leave the game again today. Chargers have serious cornerback issues right now, but they seem to constantly be playing teams that cannot take advantage of this issue regularly. Browns couldn't today. Tennessee's probably not going to be able to do it next week. Tennessee center Lloyd Cushenberry got hurt today. They're without the right guard. After the game, Callahan said, not looking good for Cushenberry, so he's probably out next week. Their starting safety, Quandre Diggs, is probably out next week. They're still missing L'Jarius Sneed. Like, my first thought is this number looks too high for me. But then there's so many of these issues going on with Tennessee that, I mean, I've seen people in the chat already talking about Chargers teasers. Seems like that might be just a good way to play this game with the range that it's in right now.
Trying to get the stats for today's game. Why am I not finding? Because I'm wondering how much this was Deshaun Watson turning it over in plus territory. Terribly,
Well,
mind you.
Yes. Well, that was it. Like, if you look at the Chargers box score, it doesn't look.
Yeah.
They had a 29% success rate on offense today. They had 13 first downs.
13 first downs.
But you know what? But the thing is, it's kind of misleading too, because they jumped out to such a big lead.
That's
like
true.
Justin Herbert had like 250 passing yards at the half. He ended with 282. He didn't have to do anything. The game was 21-3, I'm pretty sure, at the half, 20-3 at the half. And they just, ran it out, basically. Did I say Deshaun?
No, I did. They're right.
Yeah. Wow. Freudian slip right there.
Yeah. Probably because I was the God thing earlier. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No, there's another missed long field goal. Both teams have missed one. Still 7-0. Yeah, I don't know. The Titans are that, like, again, funny. The Titans draw money today. The people who bet them early end up with a push. The people who bet them late, like you want to be on the quote unquote sharp side, end up with a loss. The Titans are the team where you look at their base metrics and you're like, this team should be so much better, but they just do the dumbest shit. I mean, it never changes. It never changes.
I mean, does anything change if Levis suits up next week for you? It really doesn't for me.
I don't know. So far, looking at the schedule next week, it's like the wrong teams are playing each other, is my initial gut reaction. I do not want, like, the Chargers struggled to put away the Saints with nobody last week. And they're winning by margin, but I don't really know how they're doing it regularly.
Their defense, I mean, like, teams are just imploding against them. And I don't know that the defense, they're getting a relatively decent pass rush in the spots that I'm watching, but nobody is taking advantage of the Chargers. Who scored the most against the Chargers this year?
They've
They're
only
5-3.
given up 101 points. That is, like, I believe that's got to be the fewest in the NFL. They've given up the least points in the NFL by like 20 points.
So they lost to Arizona. They gave up 17.
Let's see. But, like, look at this cupcake schedule. Like,
I know. They gave up 20 to Pittsburgh.
But you know what? They've held the Cardinals offense in check. They held the Chiefs offense in check. Wow. Maybe I just don't overthink it, and it's just like Tennessee team total under type of thing.
Yep. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's not the hardest thing for me to click, and I'd be pretty comfortable with it. But teasers make sense too.
Yeah.
Do you think the Titans take money though? Because I kind of do. Like
I think the Titans are going to take money in this game.
I don't have interest in it, but I do think they're going to take money.
How are the Chargers going to get bet out more than this? I don't know.
Right.
Well, although, you know what? Listen, like, this is a very simplistic view. They did get Quentin Johnston back today. DJ Chark didn't play, but he's probably playing next week. Like, they're going to have the healthy front seven. The healthy offense. Yeah. All right. I don't know what to do here. No early opinion. It's a lot of the games today. Philly at Dallas.
4 games. Holy shit.
Yeah. Eagles at Cowboys. Early market is Eagles -6.5. This is definitely not a Dak Prescott number. Total in the game, 43.5. Okay. AJ Brown left with a knee injury today. Don't know what that's going to look like. Dak left with a hamstring injury. CD Lamb has an AC joint injury in his shoulder. At first, I thought he was just faking it because he dropped the touchdown, but apparently he's got an AC joint injury. Then you have Micah Parsons' possible return, Deron Bland possible return. There's lots of moving
Lamb
parts.
already said he was going to play next week, which I thought was odd.
Yeah, which I think it was like, I honestly felt like he hurt his feelings when he dropped. He needed I've been there
His
before.
feelings were injured.
I played men's league before. You drop a pass, you hobble to the sideline. You're embarrassed type of situation. Yeah. I'm ashamed to say it, but it happens. I think that this is a really tough one because people seem to think that Dak he just magically sucks all of a sudden. And here's what I strongly believe as a Cowboys fan, who, by the way, I've roasted Dak in the past. This is not like a homer take. Their O-line sucks. They have a turnstile at left tackle in Tyler Guyton. Their center, Cooper Beebe, stinks. Zach Martin is completely washed. Terrence Steele has big problems at right tackle. They have no O-line. They don't get any separation. They can't find a running game. He cannot do anything. He is constantly forced to throw into tight windows. When Cooper Rush has to do that, it is going to get a lot worse. This is not going to be. Yeah. My first thought is fucking just go hit the under in this game. That's my first thought. I know it's low, and maybe you don't want to do the Fanduel 43.5 because you can find 44.5 elsewhere. You want to get above that key number. But if AJ Brown is at risk, you have a potential backup quarterback plus CD Lamb hampered by injury, and potentially Parsons and Deron Bland back. That feels like a strong under to me.
Yeah, I need to know if Parsons is playing or not, but I need to know if Parsons is playing before I'd have interest in the Eagles. I don't have interest in the Cowboys at 6.5 at all. I could see this being a game where Philly makes it ugly even without AJ Brown if Parsons isn't playing.
Yeah, they win 20-10, something like that.
Barkley and Devontae Smith. Why do I keep saying Deshaun?
I don't know, but Devontae Smith's catch today was absurd. Yeah. Really amazing catch. Yeah, I don't know, because again, you can bet early in the week and draw a line in the sand and say, I think Dak Prescott's going to be out. The team hasn't announced anything yet, but the fact that he didn't come back in the game with a hamstring injury could mean a number of things.
He also said, I've never felt anything like that before, and after the game. So I would lean to, I don't think he's going to play if it was that bad.
Yeah.
The Barkley spin hurdle combo. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Oh, that was amazing. I don't get excited in real time. This was the one that did it for me. Oh yeah, God, man. He's not even facing the defender. He's just unreal.
He knows already that they're going for his legs, and he does that. The two best plays of the game were of all week were probably in the Eagles game.
Yeah. I'm not going to do anything early with this game. I'm just going to kind of wait for the news to play out and then try to price it as accurately as I can. That's going to be the way I play it. Doesn't have to be the way that you play it, though. Jets.
Another missed field goal. What is happening? This is only 31-yarder.
31-yarder. Wow.
What is this game? Moretto's got to be in shambles.
Well, he's always in shambles.
That's fair. He's a Minnesota fan.
Will Reichard.
That's bad.
Wow.
That
is
ugly. Take the points. Yeah, take the points.
Ugly. Take those points. Jets coming off of a Thursday night football victory where nobody could understand why they were favored. Go out on the road to the Arizona Cardinals. Interesting matchup here. Early line. Cardinals laying 1.5 at home. Total is 45.5. One thing that really stands out to me is Circa being at 1 in this game, Chris being at 2.5, Pinnacle at 2. No one really knew where to open it, and FanDuel here's 1.5. Who got hurt for the Jets? John Simpson, their left guard, pulled his groin, I believe. And they have Michael Carter Jr., I think, got hurt in that game as well. They have injuries in the secondary. Tony Adams, Ashton Davis, their starting safeties. Sean Murphy-Bunting didn't play today for Arizona. He was added to the injury report late yesterday. Didn't play. Their defensive tackle, Naquan Jones, didn't play either. Arizona has low-key played an extremely challenging schedule and got through it. The Jets, low-key, are way better than their 3-6 record indicates. And I find it, this is another game where I get a matchup of two teams that I kind of want to bet on and don't want to fade.
What do you think of the total?
What was the opener here?
45.5. Juice.
Okay.
The under was juiced to 115.
The Jets play super slow. Devontae Adams hasn't really changed the offense to make it all that more explosive. In fact, he's fucking dropped balls since he's come there. Arizona has been pounding the rock.
They want to run the football.
First subjective lean would be towards the under this game.
That's where I'm at. Jets have had a total of 52 against Pittsburgh, which was a weird game. And then the New England game, which was 47. Everything under that has been under 43 or less.
Yeah. I don't know,
think
honestly.
Teams that want to run the ball. I know, well, Cardinals totals have been high, and you like the Cardinals total this week being over. I thought under, but
yeah. I want to say
teams.
This particular game, like if I was a bookmaker and I had to send out an opener off the top of my head of, just for like price discovery, I pretty much would send it out in this exact spot. Arizona small favorite total. It's got to be higher than 44. It's got to be lower than 47, 45.5. Like I don't see anything to do here right out of the gate.
Yeah, I don't have an instinct on the side. I more have an instinct on the total.
Might be you head to head with Ras this week.
I think this was Fezzik, or the Cardinals was Fezzik's NFC game of the year or something.
By the way, what the fuck is an NFC game of the year?
That's like such tout stuff that I can't tell if he's being sarcastic and just like.
No, I think it was.
Or if he means
it was a 3-star play.
Like, you and I are around the same age. Do you remember those like telemarketing commercials that were like, "Hey, get my game of the year. It's my 20-star lock or whatever, and get your money back if it loses." That's what it sounds like. I hate that shit. Like,
yeah, NFC game of the year is too funny. But like, in addition to that, I gotta say, I was sent the write-up for that game. Okay. I don't want to pick on Fez here. It just came up though, because you brought it up. Either do a fucking write-up for the game or don't do a write-up for the game.
Or don't do anything. Just send the pick.
But the write-up was, here is who Arizona has played this year. Here is who Chicago has played this year. Arizona has played a tougher schedule. Take Arizona. Pick in the game. I'm sorry.
You get what you pay for, I guess. I don't know. Like, what the hell is that?
Like, I hope that's not the real handicap on the game. I would hope to God that is not the only handicap on the game. But if it is, then anyways, we'll move on. I saw that and I was like, okay. Detroit at Houston next week. Hello. This is Sunday Night Football.
I wish Houston was still Houston.
Lions -3.5, -120. 48.5 is the total. Juice slightly towards the over. Of note, I believe Jamison Williams is back for this game, served his 2-game suspension. Also of note, Will Anderson was banged up on Thursday night. I don't think he's at risk of missing this game, but you want to maybe keep an eye on that. And there's a chance that Jimmy Ward and Azeez Al-Shaair are back for the Houston Texans. I have thoughts.
Does Jameson have another issue though, or no?
He got caught with like a gun in his car or something like that, but I don't think it's a thing. I think it was licensed or something like that. Nico Collins will be back, eligible to return off of IR. Doesn't mean he will be back, but that was targeted. Yeah, he has lots of issues. Okay, so a few things here. When the total, what was the total here? Did we say 48.5?
Yes.
Okay. My first thought is if Nico Collins is back, this number has to start with a 5.
Yeah.
Because Detroit can't generate a pass rush. I mean, listen, they might trade for Zadarius Smith. Actually, they probably will trade for Zadarius Smith this week. So that'll change things a little bit for them. They need help in the front 7 to generate a pass rush in this particular game. Detroit is going to score indoors on Houston. Forget about today's game. They're outdoor. They were outdoor. They ran the ball a bunch at the beginning of the game, built up a lead, and then basically challenged Green Bay to beat them, and they couldn't do it.
Jordan Love. Oh.
I personally would like to wait for the inevitable Houston money to come in this game and bet Detroit. That would be the way that, in my head, I would rather attack. Rather than bet, I think this Houston number will be valuable by game time. Just like the Green Bay number was valuable by game time. I don't like betting against Detroit. Period.
Every time I seem to do it, I seem to be very wrong. There's something in their game that is I'm misunderstanding. And maybe it's just their quality of their offensive line is just that good with their running backs and being able to not only protect Goff, but they can run the ball at will. It doesn't seem like anybody has a plan to stop them at all.
Yeah, I don't know how teams can. The O-line is really good, and they have the best. They have such a good OC. Like whether you want to, their OC is amazing, right? Best in the league. And that's a thing for me. Like, you have a great coaching staff, in my opinion, in the Lions against fucking D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick. Like, it's
a big mismatch.
So I think we're going to see a flood of Houston money here, personally.
I think your take on it is perfect if that's the way that it can go. If Houston takes a bunch of money and if this can get to somehow 3 and then just jump on a Lions 3.
Yeah, you're getting the Lions in price ranges where they just, not that they just have to win, but like they just have to win. You don't need them to win by 47 points. And I trust that team to win games. Like this team, this was the spot. Like this was the spot for everyone this week. You got to take the Packers. This is the spot. Like on the road, in the rain. It doesn't matter. I was trying to say this on Pizza Buffet this morning. They're such a well-coached team. You think they're going to come out and have Jared Goff throw 57 times in the game? No. They're going to pound the rock behind their O-line, and they're going to jam it down Green Bay's throat. And they're going to be back indoor next week against Houston.
They're going to be able to play fast. Like, this is probably a problem.
Yeah, this is going to be like another sharp versus square game on Detroit, and Detroit always seems to win these games. But anyways, that's just my early thoughts here.
One more thing too. Imagine if Houston does what they've been doing all season, and running the ball on first down, having 0 success rate on first down, getting into 3rd and longs, and if they can't stop the Lions, if the Lions get out to 2 quick scores, Jesus, like the game could get out of hand.
The only thing I will say, Clive, is that I am right now, the way I'm thinking and talking about this game, I'm really undervaluing the presence of Nico Collins because it completely changes the dynamic of the offense. Like last week, what we saw against the Jets without your number one and your number two, there's not many teams that are built to overcome that. And Stroud was running around like crazy against that Jets front seven. Detroit's front seven is not going to do that. It's going to look different. Like maybe the play here is just the over, honestly. I think that's certainly within the range of outcomes where this is a track meet type of game with Collins back.
And maybe
now
it's
they
the
can
Lions
stretch the
over
field
because
again.
who knows how healthy Nico Collins is truly going to be coming back too. I 100% agree. I think we said it the first game after it happened, the week that he got injured. This offense is not going to be the same without him, and it hasn't been. And no Diggs either. So you need a healthy Nico Collins, and I don't know that we're going to know how healthy he is until later in the week.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to bet the over now, not knowing whether he's in or not. And I will have to try to time this up. But that's my first inclination here is I do think the market will come in with support for Houston in this game because these Detroit prices are getting like steeper and steeper, right? They are.
They are. They're the highest rated team in the market. They're number one. Yeah. They're more than the Chiefs now.
But for me, rather than betting the early Houston number, I would rather wait for the Houston money and bet Detroit late.
Oh, for sure.
Like same situation as today. That's my preference. Some people might disagree with me on that, and you're entitled to your opinion, but that's the way that I do it. Final game is Monday Night Football. It's the Dolphins and the Rams. Interesting one here. Rams laying 2.5 minus 115 at home. Total in the game is 50.5. Okay. Rob Havenstein, right tackle for the Rams, hurt his ankle today. He'll be in danger of missing next game. The Dolphins have Zach Sealer and Javon Holland injured on defense. I can make pretty good arguments for both teams here. Miami played a decent game today. They really did. For like Tua usually struggles against the Bills. I mean, he struggles against good teams. Like that's the MO of his entire career. Take a step up in class, they regularly lose. I have a little bit more faith in the Rams defense right now, but I think this is a fine price.
Yeah.
This is a funny comment. Puka will be fresh off a mini bye. Puka, he quote unquote threw a punch. I'm watching the broadcast. These guys are talking about like he's like threw the most vicious sucker punch I've ever seen in my life. Give me a fucking break with some of these ejections today. Get out of here.
That was a light retaliation. Like it was nothing. But anyway, I kind of have a little interest in Miami because it seems like their offense is getting back together.
Yeah,
back together.
I sort of do too, but like I was so high on the Rams going into today, really, really high on the Rams going into today. And now listen, recency bias, but I watched this team today and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I couldn't get there on the Rams the way that you were. I agree that their defense has gotten healthier and it's gotten better. I didn't make a bet on either side here, but I was leaning towards actually taking Seattle, and Geno Smith beat Seattle. I don't know that the Rams beat Seattle.
Yeah. I don't get this comment. Miami is a dead team. Like Miami is losing games, but they're far from dead. They've been. You think of the last 2 weeks, people. Like what do we know about Arizona right now? After today, and Buffalo. How much are you docking Miami for losing close games? They led by double digits against the Cardinals in the second half, and they almost beat the Bills in Buffalo today.
Yeah, I don't think Miami's a dead team.
I just don't think that, listen, some people out there in the content creation space might talk about the value of two in the NFL, even though it really has not changed in the last 20 years. They moved the extra point back a little bit. It made the two like 0.5% more valuable. But asymmetric risk here, right? We're at -2.5, -115 on the Rams. my first instinct, and I will look into every single game more as the week goes on. My first instinct is wouldn't mind the Dolphins in this, but why?
The market
take the
really
2.5?
does like the Rams.
The market, no, not at post today. Holy
I thought
Seahawks!
they took money today. No,
Seahawks was a flood of money today. Late. I might go to lunch. I'm pretty sure. I saw so much order flow for Seahawks later today.
I see -1.5, -15, -2.5 at DraftKings, -1.5, -2, -2. Maybe my screen's a little off.
Yeah.
I thought the Rams took money.
All right. I could be completely out to lunch here, but I'm just pulling up.
Not that those are huge moves either. I just thought that they took money late.
Yeah. I like, again, Buffalo should have smoked Miami. Bogus holding. That holding call was bogus. They did have the
It
fluke
was.
interception. They also generated 6.2 yards per play at Buffalo today.
That's what I mean about their offense. Like,
They had a
their defense-
58% success rate. Like, Buffalo did not come remotely close to stopping them. Anyways, that's just my first inclination. I don't like this card from in the early going. Yeah, Rams close too. People are saying the same thing as you. I got some sort of error. I got some sort of bug I got to fix on my end. I got a bug that I got to fix on my end. Second half's getting underway here. Sorry,
shit.
people. Without
we ran.
We ran pretty long, but that's gonna be it. Good luck to Caustic for reviewing the first half there and trying to put together some plays that we have, because I feel like this is one of the weeks where I looked early and I don't see much.
Clive's recap's going to be, I think, a lot of team totals and probably not much else.
You have to factor it. I love this. You have to factor in a key drive killing fumble for the Dolphins into the handicap. Raheem Mostert with a fucking loaf of bread in his hands just gets it punched. Anyways, story for another day. Appreciate you, Clive. All the best, man. Have a good week. We'll chat on Sunday next week.
See you guys. Bye.
All right. Clive Bixby, everyone. If you did enjoy Clive in the first half here, make sure you smash that like button down below as Minnesota comes out throwing here in the second half. Jason.
Yeah.
It's been quiet for you in this first half. Been behind the scenes, just pulling up screens and stuff like that.
That's what I'm supposed to do on the Sundays, I thought. No?
Bingo. However, in the second half, you're going to have a job for us.
I'm very pissed right now that you guys went long because I have this in the queue right now.
Okay.
Sam Darnold under it was 16-1 before that Justin Jefferson, whatever, what was it, 30-yard gain there?
Yeah. So but now it's just adjusting the odds based, like, it's a loser. And you get to pick, you can go like something different now.
It was not a loser. It was great. It was great. It was going to win.
It was going to win, but Justin Jefferson caught 21 yards on the first play.
Yeah, it had Justin Jefferson overs.
Oh,
it was Jefferson over
Darnold under.
Yeah,
a
little bit of inverse correlation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
you can blame whoever got me fired up with the Dolphins comment. Might have to slap a 5-minute ban.
I'll ban them for sure. Like for sure. But yeah, no, I guess we'll just try and cook up a couple more what's it called? Next drive to catch a pass.
Next commercial break.
Yep.
As soon as we hit commercial, you got to come in hot.
Sounds good.
You got to come in hot.
Punt, pass.
Even if Fienberg is talking, interrupt his story. Come in hot. I'm giving you permission. They're glad to see you're alive. Look,
I mean, after this weekend, it's yeah.
It's funny how like it's very, very Jekyll and Hyde, the people in the yeah.
Dinger, you haven't been around in a while. I feel like that's why.
Dinger, he's a huge Feinberg fan. He actually DM'd me on the side and said we should do a stream where it's just Geoff hosting for all 4 quarters, talking to himself. And I'm thinking, maybe not a bad idea.
Could be fun, but is that that's a burner though for sure? No, is that not Fezzik's burner?
Dinger?
Yeah,
Dinger.
If he's obsessed with Geoff, like, I mean, we just have to find out the hitman.
I think Dinger's on the other side of things. By the way, what happened to Geoff? I
don't know.
He's there. His I don't know. I'm just staring at it as like an empty studio for the last 7 minutes.
Maybe he's trying to kill his dog again or something like that. Or no,
Yeah,
kidding.
maybe
I'm
lock
kidding.
the dog. Lock the dog in the room. He had to
Lock
let
the
him
dog
know.
outside. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems to be coughing. Seems to be really coughing there. Maybe he's ill.
When he comes back, I want you to ask him about the Chargers defense, because you guys had some very nice words. And I was going to text Geoff today and tell him I think the Chargers might be entering potential wagon status, where like not like an insanely good team, but like,
well,
from where they were
this is
to now.
Mark this down. Let's put this down. It's November 3rd, 9:52 p.m. Eastern time, the official time that Jason cursed the LA Chargers. It's done. It was a good run. It was a good
We'll
run.
see.
Were you texting Geoff? You wanted to text him or sext him earlier?
I wanted to text him, but
okay.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you want to text him or sext him earlier.
No, I wanted. Why would I do that? That's an HR violation.
First of all, I'd like to remind you one more time who the HR here is. I'm the HR.
So you're okay with me sexting Geoff, is what you're saying?
If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. But if he filed a complaint with me, then I would have to give you a ban, just like you give to the people in the chat when they do bad things. 5 minutes. You'd have a 5-minute production ban. All right, bring Geoff in. Jeffrey.
What's up, boys?
Speak again. Let's say testing 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to hear this.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
It's the wrong mic. I don't know how this happens every time.
What
Double check you have the right mic selected.
Yeah.
It
sounds like
StreamYard doesn't set it like every.
Oh,
there, fuck off.
there we go.
I don't like that. This program makes me do things, and I'm lazy. So
you're coming in real hot now, though. Like real hot. Like if I was cutting this in Burley back in the day, what was that program we used to cut stuff in?
Yeah, Burley.
Burley? The spiking would be off the charts right now.
Is that better?
That's better. It's all right. Chargers win again, man.
Oh,
best defense in the league right now, right?
Buddy, I don't know if I told you on Thursday, like I was all in, like for the first here.
Yeah.
I was confident. Said we're going to take the ball away from Jameis. Took the ball away from Jameis. The Jameis hype, ridiculous. Miss me with that shit.
Yeah.
And, love Jameis. I was betting on Jameis to win MVPs long before, he was throwing 30 TDs and having 30 interceptions. So I'm a Jameis guy. But people lost their fucking minds about the guy. I'm sorry. True. People lost their minds. And, I don't want to take shots at his IQ, but he's never seen like that style of defense. He hasn't seen that before. The Ravens and and the Seahawks played it a bit, but that's not been around the NFL. Who scored? I'm like
Jordan
12
Addison.
seconds behind you. Oh,
it was a really good catch.
Really good catch.
Really good catch. Lots of really good catches today.
Yeah,
Rob, my bookie. I like max bet the Chargers, and I don't have like a small limit. I probably don't have like your kind of limit, but I max bet them spread. I max bet them money line, and then I put them like parlayed them with the Ravens money line and the Eagles money line. And my bookie hit me up. He's like, I got to cut you off on the game. Like I was just in on the game, like everywhere.
Well, you know what?
Boom.
Congrats.
Boom.
Big
Like
day.
they're my super lock this week. I was like, nah. Jim Harbaugh walking into Ohio? You people know anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Great handicap. There was a dominant.
I got a little nervous when I saw Ward didn't, cleared protocol.
Yeah.
But
that actually got me off of the over. So I'm glad. Because that's it. Also, Denzel Ward, don't know what's going on, but it seemed like he might have still had a concussion today because that guy blew about 600 coverages.
Yeah. Well, you see, they were showing a replay. The broadcast was showing a replay, and then they came back to Josh Palmer in the end zone because I still haven't seen a good highlight of that play.
I told Jason to do this. He's cutting you off right now, but I told him
cutting
to
you
do
off.
This. We're cutting
have
you
to
off
build-
because Jason has to give a bet tonight. He promised that he was going to give a bet.
Did he
on
pay
Sunday Night
$10
Football.
yet?
Oh, did you pay
No
the
one,
10
no
bucks?
one, no one DM'd
Okay,
me.
give the bet. Give the bet first, and then
Oh
we're going to
my
figure this out.
God.
Okay.
Okay.
What
All
am I
right,
going to do?
Jason.
Just give it to a random person? Like, and like, have like they didn't tell me who to give it. I don't know who to give it to.
Well, because you made such a stink out of it, so people probably felt like, oh God, I can't take $10 from this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't make us think about anything.
It seems like you
All right.
did, because I came. Whatever.
I'm stepping in
Never
here.
mind.
We
Okay.
pause.
Punt Justin Jefferson.
Punt, Justin Jefferson. Colts 6th drive result, punt. Vikings 7th drive result, punt. Justin Jefferson to catch a pass on the 7th drive. Okay.
You should include Josh Downs in these prognostications.
No, I don't want Josh Downs. I want nothing to do with Josh Downs. I need Josh Downs unders.
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 What's
If
his
you're going to be
over-under?
here, Jeff, cheering for Josh Downs,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
care.
not going to be happy.
What's
not
his
gonna
number? What's the total?
That I bet
Yeah, what is it? 65.
65 and a half. I bet some more 62 and a half.
Good luck.
Well, it
He's
seems
not-
like you were rooting against me.
No, I don't know. You're just naming players to catch a ball.
Well, listen,
Game
if you really
opens
think
up,
Josh
Josh
Downs,
Downs gonna be catching balls.
you know what? You bring up good points.
But
I
no,
saw
whatever.
the,
No, screw Josh Downs. Under 62, man. Whatever you need.
I saw the rough rundown for Circle Back tomorrow, and boy, for our recording tomorrow,
Yeah.
it's going to be a doozy.
There
It
was
is
a
gonna
tweet
be
I
a
wanted to
doozy.
ask if it was going to be in there, and now I don't remember. So obviously it couldn't have been that important.
Well, it'll be in there. If it was topical this week, it's going to be in there. We're on everything. We're on everything. Let's bring Jason back in here for 1 second because we didn't get to the final resolution of this.
Yeah, he wanted to
You
talk
owe
to you about
someone
the Chargers
$10.
defense.
No. Before that, Chargers defense, we can do all this stuff tonight. But I need to understand
Oh yeah.
if you
$10.
truly welched on the $10.
I didn't welch on it per se. Like I
He
can
didn't
still
like
do it.
search out a winner.
I'm not gonna aggressively pursue people and be like, do you want $10? Like that's kind of crazy, no?
Well, if you owe someone $10, you should.
Well,
do
I
your
don't
best
owe
to get
every
them the
person
money.
$10. I said I will Venmo someone $10, not everyone.
Did you Venmo
$10.
anyone $10? There's a simple yes or no question.
I did not.
Now you
but
just got to
here's what-
donate
here's what-
$10 to charity. Where did T-Math donate to?
This the
That you-
toy drive.
Yeah,
Although the
toy
receipts
drives.
are not out there yet, right?
Well, no, Jason.
No, they
Jason
are.
investigated.
They are.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Jason just thought it was made.
Well,
up, but
I
it was
didn't
made up.
lie. I mean, listen. She did an apology video. It was posted in the apology video, but the apology video is distracting because it's just like, even though she's wearing a sweater, it's still distracting. If that makes sense.
Okay, first of all, the only thing I'm distracted by right now is the fact that you welched on this $10. So what you should do is respond to someone in the chat tonight and say, hey, I randomly selected you for the $10. Can I donate it to a charity instead of to you?
Okay, I can do that. I also just went through every single person who responded and said, DM me. The first person to DM me, I will Venmo them or e-transfer them
What?
or PayPal them.
Okay, whatever. Fine.
But
okay,
how about the ones who DM you afterwards? Are you going to say like, sorry, too late?
I'll
No,
tell them you're too slow.
He's saying he doesn't. Listen, Jason ran a contest, but he's saying no one came to claim the prize, so it's
Yeah,
not his
It's
fault.
happened
It's
before.
like
it's all
you
happened
win
before.
the lottery draw, the raffle ticket, but he's waiting for the winning ticket to come get their prize, but they didn't come, and he's not like calling around. He's not like asking. So
I could totally see Jizzy J doing this around holiday season. Just walking around Hammer headquarters, handing out cards to people saying like, I've made a donation on your behalf to the Human Fund, whatever fund you wanted to give out, no donation being made. Shame on you, Jason, man. Shame.
I don't know. I haven't done it yet, but that's honestly a really good idea. I'll consider it.
Are we going to get
Rob, today was such a good day.
I hope
Really
so.
was.
Today was a good day. And this
Ravens
is a good
beat
for the parlay.
shit out of them. I got lucky in the afternoon. I was on the Rams. I was on Arizona.
Yep.
Trying to honestly think what I lost today. Even like the money lines came in.
Yep.
You know, like you put a couple of those favorites together. Honestly,
Yeah.
where did I get but Miami scoring that late touchdown that got in the number there. That was a loss. That was a little annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the under in that game, and
the Eagles spread, but I had so much. I was actually losing my shit because I had so much riding on Eagles money line, like connected to winning things from the morning.
Okay,
and
I got Eagles teaser connected to Chiefs tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, so I just had a lot of connectors there, and I don't know. For all the shit Sirianni's gonna take, to me the real dumb one, I don't even care if you get the half yard. Like 17, going from 16 to 17 is important, and they were even getting it even any of them late. I get the last one, you obviously go for 2, and it's maybe easy to say after the fact, but and then the 4th and 1 play that they ran that instead of kicking the field goal late, where Hurts went like 12 yards backwards, when they lose AJ Brown, they are lost. Like, remember that from earlier in the year? So if he's out, then I don't know who they're playing next week, but they're just like
they're playing Dallas.
Their worst when I guess it's fair. He's receiver 1, but they have no competence. I don't want to say they're not competent because I like the Eagles. I have some Super Bowl Eagles tickets, so I'd love for them to find their gear. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. Sometimes when they lose, you're like, I don't know. I enjoy seeing. I might have lost money, but I'll take. Like I bet on Penn State on Saturday.
Why?
And every time I bet on what?
Why?
I don't know. It's small. I bet.
Even the Penn State fans knew they were going to lose that game.
Yeah, whatever. But when they lose, I'm like, yeah, I might have lost money, but I'm still going to enjoy fucking James Franklin being a fucking loser.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, I'll still get great pleasure out of it. It won't take away my pleasure in that.
Well, Geoff, you've transitioned from sophisticated square to degen semi-sharp. That's your new. What a day for you.
No, I didn't. I mean, I don't know if it was sharp, but I sliced it up today. Like
they're gonna just take a delay a game. They're not going for this year. This is gonna be a punt. Yeah, I took the delay.
Unreal. I almost mushed that. I wrote punt in the chat with an exclamation mark after that play.
You deserve to lose that one.
Sirianni. Steichen doesn't have the balls to do this. He's a
yeah, I know. But you listen. It's the cardinal rule, right? You don't declare something done until it's done. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Are we gonna get a flag here or what?
Imagine roughing the punt. I got a fucking block punt against me again today, man. This is getting unreal. I won the game, but it always happens to me, man. Every fucking
who had the block punt today?
It was the Rams. The Seahawks blocked the Rams punt today.
Oh yeah,
I'm done with these, man. I'm done. I can't handle another block.
Stay away from me. I'm sharp. I'll cut you. Like I'm sharp.
I'm a big fan of that Puma shirt, man.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. It's like a Palm Beach Crew or something.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Rob, this might make people think less of me. And I don't condone it. And I think they're losers. Those guys from the World Series who tried to touch the player and the ball. That I would never do. But I do think about it a lot. And I do like joke or talk to my buddies about it a lot. I would never touch the player. Like my hands would never touch them like in a open-handed way. But I am defending my space with like shards out. Yes. Like you would have to eat my elbow. I swear to God. My elbows would be up. I would be defending territory. My open hand would never lay like, what, you think I want to touch a player? Like, no chance. But I would be absolutely defending my territory with like glass elbows out. So you could say that's as disgusting or worse, but that's just that's how I would play the situation. That's all. That's all. Now if the new Renault's there's nowhere to go. Yeah.
Geoff, would you tackle someone for Justin Herbert?
define
sure,
tackle? Like if someone is like harassing him in public or something?
Yeah. Like what if I'm not going to repeat the word, but Jason Kelsey this week, somebody used a homophobic slur and he slammed the guy's phone. Let's say somebody walked by Justin Herbert and he called him a homophobic slur. What's Geoff Fienberg's reaction?
I'd actually rather pivot from this question.
No. I want to know what you would do.
Okay,
There's
fine.
no
Remind
pivoting.
me in a minute. Remind me in a minute
Okay,
because this is actually better.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey, Rob, was on the cusp of like, why the fuck is this guy at game day? He's clearly like a Hall of Fame player, but he was getting to the point of like, you're kind of annoying. You are so overexposed. But that was king shit. That was king shit. That is like, I know when you're in a position like, hey, he's like working for Disney, you've got to walk the line. Like there's kind of no gray area. You can get in trouble, but you're told to like be authentic, or being authentic like sells. Obviously, like he's smart enough to know what to do or not to do maybe, but oh my God. Who would I call a snowflake? I don't even know what that is. No chance. So Jason two people who are arguably very overexposed really saved themselves last week. Kelsey, like he's got equity now for like a year before he could bore us. That was like king levels. The other one, Belichick. Oh my God. Him reeling in his mermaid. Like the guy's, oh my God. You give me all of that. I don't care. People can think there's a little too much Bill out there in the content space doing Manningcast and McAfee every
Bill's
week
amazing in the content space. He's great. I thought the mermaid thing was a little cringe. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, listen, it's super cringe.
Yeah,
but it's like Rob. People think that guy wants to be a coach again. Dude, he's making a fortune working 3 hours a week, chomping blue chew, laying pipe. Okay? This guy is not looking for 15-hour days at 20-hour days at the office. I am sorry. That guy, like, yes, that is so fucking cringe. But on the same time, you have to like think, okay, I think he's living his best fucking life. He could say, I'm not doing that. Here's my visa. Take your girls to lunch at like wherever you want. And everyone can get out of that happy. But he plays along. He's living his best life. I'm sorry, but Belichick and Kelsey, amazing wins this week. Amazing wins.
First of all, shout out to Bill Belichick because just landing that girl who's younger than me, which is crazy, is a big win. But was this not the toughest week for Tom Brady? Seeing both of his exes on like cloud 9 while he's sitting doing broadcast.
What happened to Moynihan? Who's the other ex? Like obviously
Giselle.
I know. Yeah, I know that's
pregnant.
the main ex. That's his ex-wife. You said both of his exes.
Bill Belichick.
Belichick is what he's referring to. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Brady is only banging like 12s.
Yeah,
okay?
obviously, but like
okay. Oh, yeah. There's only 12s like in the Brady orbit, and he doesn't need to go on Instagram like cringing it. But Brady, man, the announcing thing is tough. And yeah, that's all. The announcing gig, we'll see. We'll give him time. Yeah. He's Tom Brady, but the Chargers and some other teams put a lot of restrictions on him, so he can't even do his job properly.
All right.
I could see him bailing on it, Rob.
Well, of course, yeah. I could see him bailing on it
like
too.
He's just like, you know what? And people would give him respect. Like, it's okay. Like, you tried it. Like, you're still Tom Brady. Right. The money is so good, though. It's so much money to not do a lot of work. But it's, I don't know. If you're not good at it, it can probably feel like a slog. And there's nothing he doesn't do that he's not, like, really good at. So we'll see.
Yep. Now, someone calls Herbert a homophobic slur in front of your face. You tried to pivot off of this. But what's the actual honest reaction?
Is there or I am there?
It's you, Herbert, and another guy.
You know, what are we gonna? I've got just people gonna get their phones up. We're like, there's no space for that. Like that's
So you
just
you wouldn't defend Herbert's honor. Basically.
Yeah, be like, what? Like he's like, no, this man is a staunch heterosexual. Like what are you supposed to say? Like someone's gonna make a slur like that? They're not even worth engaging with. Herbert is he is with, you might know who she is because she used to do a little NFL work, but he's with a bit of a slightly older woman, like Taylor Biscotti. Used to be
the
NFL
name sounds
Network, or
familiar.
just Google like Herbert girlfriend. But like Herbert doesn't leave the house. It's just like the house and the facility. He doesn't get dressed up like
yeah, I remember this girl, Taylor Biscotti. Yeah. Bisciotti.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't remember how to say her name. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, the other
I do
Taylor.
The other Taylor. Oh, Darnold drops a dime. JJ, there's no chance of a punt here, though, unfortunately.
How can we get a punt here?
We would need them to take 4 consecutive offensive holding penalties, and I'm still not sure they would punt.
Or throw in Jalen Waddle, maybe.
Yeah. That was a good ball, man. That was a good ball by Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold throws a nice ball.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota has dominated this game. It shouldn't be anywhere near close right now. I don't know if it's just me or like every time I felt like they've just been dominating.
You think the Dolphins will be sellers, Rob?
Who would they sell? Who do you think they would sell?
I don't know. It just seems like a very veteran team that's in cap hell. I mean,
Yeah.
not really sure who they would sell.
Yeah. No, I was just I think that they could be sellers. Yes, I do. I do feel the Dolphins had the Tua injury this year, and the last 2 weeks they've been very competitive with the Bills and Cardinals. They're unlucky to have gone 0-2 against the Bills and Cardinals in back-to-back weeks with Tua healthy.
Yeah, and they should have beaten the Colts the week before. They fucking fumbled that game away.
Yeah. I think they would probably like to get rid of Jalen Ramsey because ever since they signed him to the extension, he's been slow. But yeah.
I saw outside of the Saints and someone else,
Mm-hmm.
they're in like the really horrible cap space.
Yeah. Cowboys are in rough shape too.
The Chargers play the Titans next week, Rob, who played 5 quarters of football today.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Not 5. Not a full 5. Let's see how long was their D on the field for today. That's what I like to look at. Tennessee, New England. Tennessee had the ball for the New England only had the ball for 29 minutes in that game.
Is Kenneth Murray still on the Titans?
Yeah.
So maybe the Chargers should wear the guard caps because you'll need extra protection with that virus floating around.
The guard.
Oh, okay. Just workshop that one. I'm gonna figure that out. That's gonna work for later in the week.
That's good. That's good.
Well, yeah,
I like that. I might actually steal that.
The problem is like Mayo like mutes, and I won't say it here because I don't want to get you stricken. But like my feelings on Kenneth Murray often get like bleeped out. But let's just say like you'd wanna, it's like an STD, and you would want to wear protection.
Yep.
The worst kind. I think if you power rank them, it would be number 1.
Yep.
Okay, we can get back to football. But I look forward to playing Kenneth Murray.
Touchdown for the Vikings. Jalen Naylor. It looked like they ran like a little bit of a pick here. I'd be interested in seeing this one more time. Just out of curiosity. Jefferson runs out. No, that's not the one I'm looking. I don't care about Justin Jefferson running in the note. Why don't they ever show the proper replay? I don't get it.
Did you take a side here, Rob?
No. Yeah, actually, technically, yes. I have some Colts. It's inconsequential. Like it
Plus,
literally
what,
means
6 or
nothing.
something, 5, 6.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Let's put it that way. Relatively speaking, Riku says that he'd like to apologize to me for always getting on me about fading the Ravens. It's bad karma. He wants a Super Bowl this year. I get the fandom of certain people. People think that like when I bet against their team, it's something personal. I never understood this. I never understood it. It's not personal. There's certain
Ravens
teams
are
I hate.
wagon.
I hate the Giants. I hate the Eagles. Those are teams I hate.
I hate the Broncos. I don't really hate anyone else. Sometimes the Raiders. Actually, the Raiders. Yeah. The Ravens are a wagon.
They are a wagon.
Lamar didn't even have to run today. They were so good. That's how bad. Denver's also shit. Like, look who's the teams Denver have beaten. Oh,
yeah,
I
know.
God.
I agree with you there. Remember last year, I think a lot of people wanted to see Ravens-Lions Super Bowl last year.
That'd be fun.
We instead got the Chiefs and 49ers. Ravens-Lions Super Bowl is on the table this year until the Ravens play the Chiefs in the playoffs again. And then the Chiefs just win. And then they go to the Super Bowl and they beat the Lions in like most heartbreaking game for the Lions ever. That's what happens this year, right?
The Ravens. Yeah. Rob, do you know what the Chargers playoff probability is going to be tonight?
No, I don't even know what their record is. I can't do this stuff for you.
I can't do it too, but PFF put out a tweet earlier in the week before the game that like this was one of the biggest like hinge spreads if they were to win or lose the game in terms of their playoff probability. This is a big win. It's a big win. Put it that way. Big win.
The Chargers are like, if I had to pick, they shouldn't even really be considered a dark horse now because they're definitely good. But like they were the dark horse team that I wanted.
Are they good?
You know?
They haven't like played a good quarterback. Like, someone's going to shred them up, I think. But you know why they're good? I don't know. They just, even on third down, I'm like, let's sling it.
It's because they have the best fans, Geoff. You can say it, man. They have the best.
But I did hear
fans.
the fans at the end of the game today, which was good. You don't usually do that on the road.
Herbert's so good, man. I love Justin Herbert. He's
a
guy.
Sick.
I'll tell you, if I was with Justin Herbert and somebody uttered a homophobic slur at him, Jason, you really want to talk? Jason, say what you got to say.
Darnold might be hurt. I'm not sure. Just something to keep an eye on. Maybe if we can see if he's going to the medical tent. Holding his leg. And then I also want to ask Geoff a question about the Chargers.
Holding his leg, you say?
Yes.
Is Nick Mullins still the backup there?
I believe
I'm not sure. I think
you ever seen the old the meme where it's like Darnold upgrade Mullins?
Wait, are you saying Darnold is better than Mullins, or Mullins is better than Darnold?
I was just doing that to piss off Moretto, who's definitely watching.
Okay. Not me, not the USC guy. I feel like that was a shot.
You know, it's easy to get under your skin.
Who did USC play yesterday? They lost. I bet against.
Yeah, I honestly don't even want to talk about that.
Washington.
Like,
I bet on.
We're not. Geoff, how do you feel the Chargers match up against the Chiefs? Because they have to face them. Like, how do you feel like they match up?
Chargers could slog it up. We could just muck it up.
Didn't they already muck it up this year? No, that was the Broncos. That was no.
Yeah, but they did. They did. The Chiefs played their the Chargers sort of muck game, and Herbert had half an
17-10. Yeah.
And Herbert was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Like what? What was the question, Jason? Do I think they would beat the Chiefs?
No. Just how do you feel like they match up against the Chiefs? I'm more so thinking in the playoffs. Like I don't care about the season. Because all roads lead
take it
to the AFC.
Like a third time?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Muck.
Muck.
Okay, what muck like Jace? That's you make like a 6 guy anytime touchdown.
No downs.
A 6
Okay,
guy
so
anytime touchdown parlay for like $10 that like pays a fortune. It's like muck. Like, am I counting that 10 on my ledger? No, but like, do I get a little bit of enjoyment out of it? Yes. If I bet like a card of golfers, 3-5 guys, and then someone who I trust is like, bet this 150 to 1 guy, I'll put a couple bucks on it, call it a little muck. So that's all that meant. Like, it's not, it's like beyond needing to be recorded, but it just tries to get the juices going. So does that help you explain muck?
No, I know muck. I love your.
So why you keep asking about it?
No. I think we lost. Did we lose downs on that one? By the way,
no, we didn't lose it yet. He's at 45 yards, but I'm very depressed. He's back to back, like that was 25 yards right there.
He's really good.
Yeah. Well, could be worse. You could be the 4-5 USC Trojans with Miller Moss being a bag of diarrhea. That could be a lot worse. End of the third quarter, Geoff. Man, this game's flying. It's 10-22.
Right.
End of the third quarter.
Boys.
Well,
Rob, I've had a couple fast quarters lately. I don't mind it because I had some slow ones.
It's good. I know you got to put in
when old guys get hurt on the sidelines or the air cast has to be brought out or so
old guys getting hurt on the sidelines. Did you have a game where a guy got hurt on the sidelines?
Yeah, that's like one of the old chain guys.
I know. Did we?
Those are the worst. It's like, oh my god.
I know it's not even a player, and the game is delayed. It's really not that they don't deserve an air cast or anything like that, but
you know, health and safety, all of it. But
Ravens Chargers going to be on Monday Night Football this year. You going to come into the office for that one?
Okay, if the Chargers. Yeah, maybe. If they win next, we'll see. We'll see what the record is. I'll make a deal with Jason tomorrow. I could do that.
Well, Riku is a dentist.
The Chargers played the Ravens. Rob, the Chargers played the Ravens, I think, last year on Monday night. And that was the night with the really annoying Asian lady who got so much attention.
I remember
and not that I don't care. I don't need attention. Although I regretted not going to the game today because I had a great opportunity to go, but in the fourth quarter, I regretted not being there.
Yeah.
But
Jason is completely muted and just been talking to himself. Yeah.
But I'm gonna get out of here. But yeah, the Ravens and Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl. Is that Thanksgiving Monday? I felt like that was a holiday. Maybe it's not even a holiday, but
we'll find out. But because Riku's a dentist, I'm gonna propose a bet where if the Ravens win, he gets to yank one of your teeth live on air. And if you win, if the Chargers win, you could pick something for Riku to do. But definitely we want to have.
No, I don't want to make. I don't want to. I hope the Chargers record is so good by that time that game comes that I'll come to the studio and watch it, and I'll just be like, we can lose this game. That's all.
I have a feeling you're not going to be in that state that night.
No,
we got lots of Red Bulls in the studio. You can mix yourself a few vodka Red Bulls.
Do you have a balcony?
We got a balcony.
Just for air. I don't even need to smoke. I don't mean for smoking. I mean for air.
Oh.
No, I mean it. Listen, I respect building your rules. I get it. I just mean like air. Sometimes I need like air.
BetStamp is a floor below us on the 7th floor. They got a big balcony. You can go use that if you need it.
Like I don't even sometimes. Yeah. I mean, my dinner that night would be weed and air, but like I just use the balcony for air.
Wow. If the Chargers win, he'll treat you to a round at Torrey Pines next time you're in San Diego.
Yeah, I've been to a Chargers game with Rico.
But if the Ravens win, he gets to pull one of your teeth live on it.
I usually go to San Diego. It would have been in San Diego like last week. That's usually the time I'm in. I couldn't make it this year for a few reasons. I'll be there next year for sure. Hopefully earlier than the fall, though.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good to see you, Geoff. Geoff Fienberg, everyone. What's his penalty here? Offensive? Defensive? Something? Flacco was holding the ball like a loaf of bread on this play.
I fully thought Geoff was talking about something else when he brought up the balcony.
Listen,
I was like, no.
well, here's the thing. Chop block, that's coming back. Me and Geoff used to work in that building 15 years ago together, but we were on the 3rd and 4th floor, and there was Geoff used to, you go out on the balcony and have a spliff,
during the
come
day.
back in. Oh yeah, it was this was the wild. This was the wild.
That's
wild
crazy.
West, man. You don't understand what this office was like. There's a
I
hardcore
would not
sports
be able to
radio
do that.
took that a little bit too seriously, I will say.
I mean, from the stories I heard, it makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. All right, 4th quarter. Austin Mock joining us from The Athletic. Austin, how's it going?
Good. It was a good Sunday. This
You're wearing your Tiger Woods Sunday red right there.
Yeah, there, and I performed like early 2000s Tiger today. It was a good day for the bets. This game's kind of killing my vibe though, just because I do have some Colts action and it's just not pleasant to watch on the eyes right now. So
I'll do a quick 4th quarter sync for everyone just so that they can get on the same page as me. Play clock is at 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, it's good to have winning NFL Sundays because like I actually truly mean this. It feels like half the games are coin flips, right? So there's just going to be some weeks where you can't do anything about it.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. 9 of the 15 games were within a field goal. So yeah, that's what, like, sometimes you just, you flip tails 5 times in a row and you're betting heads is what it is. But yeah, I'll never complain about, even if it's like grind out some small profit, I'll never complain about that on an NFL weekend, because it's not even that like they're coin flips. It's just the nature of coin flips though. But like the last freaking hour of games just can really, although I haven't had like a witching hour, there's been some times where like you're looking great at like 3:30 Eastern. And then like 4:30, you're like face down in a ditch. And it's not a good time.
Yeah. The Flacco just threw a brutal pick right there. Really bad. Really bad. At least it was to Downs, and Downs didn't catch it because I have some Downs under tonight. But it's funny because like the last game that finishes has such an impact on how I feel. No matter, like last week I won. I actually had a really good year. But last week I won. But the last game was Bears Commanders, and I lost on a Hail Mary. And it really dampened like the entire day. Really did. Today was Rams and Seahawks, and I won less this week than I did last week, but I feel great.
Well, it's tough too because like when you lose it, like, okay, obviously the Bears lost in ridiculous fashion, but like you're doing the math on like what the swing was, and you're just like, God, think about what the day could have been. Like that's what's like the extra pain. Whereas like the Rams hits today, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a good day. We're feeling great here. We're not. It's not like you're chasing losses, but it's the potential of what could have been was
right,
and it should have been, because that Hail Mary was just one of the worst. That'll be the worst beat of the year. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. That I mean, I hope I don't lose another Hail Mary this year. Technically, worst beat of the year is if you had 2 over passing yards today.
I did have I have Waddle on one of my fantasy teams, and I saw he ended up with like 2 catches for -2 or -4 yards. He did have a touchdown to like save his line there, but yeah that prop that's like the QB Neal, like on the rush yards. Like that's one of those where
that's a tough.
That's
one.
tough.
That is definitely tough. Next week's board is tough. I took a quick early look, and I did not see much that I liked in the early going next week, which means not a lot of things to do the next couple days, and wait for those injury reports Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. At this point,
I think this is going to be a one of those weeks with a bunch of games less than a field goal. Just for my quick, I'm not looking at lines. I'm looking at like my general numbers. I could be off there, but a lot of coin flip type games, I think. But
Yep, I would say that there's a bunch of them next week. Detroit Houston Sunday Night Football is a very interesting game. I would say Jets Cardinals is a really interesting one, for sure. Steelers Commanders. Oh, Darnold gave it right back. Immediate next throw is picked off. This Darnold makes too many mistakes. I'm just gonna he looks so good for the majority of the game. He just makes too many mistakes right now.
Yeah, that's why I think like people were saying like, oh, they should trade McCarthy or whatever and like pay Darnold. And I'm like, I don't think the ceiling's high enough.
No, it's not.
Yeah, like
Again,
he can get it done, but it's not. He has the killer plays, which is what rookies should be doing. Not he's in his 7th year, like whatever it is.
You don't pay the weakest link of your team. Like that's not
right.
If the Vikings are going to lose in the playoffs, it's not going to be. It's going to be because Darnold had a bad game. That's what it's going to come down to, right?
This is the prototypical like. He kind of reminds me of. Probably not to this level because the efficiency numbers are different, but like Jimmy G type vibes, like the ceiling's just not there. But like today is like what 26 to 31 for 255. Like that's a good line, but you have 2 picks. So it's just not
this play in particular. Jimmy G used to do this too, where he locked onto someone and he like knew where he was going to throw. Like Addison is running free on that play. And he just forces it into tight coverage on Jefferson. Doesn't make any sense. And I mean, that's a good comparison, I would say.
Yeah,
I would say
like good offensive mind. It seems like O'Connell knows like all the right buttons to push. They have weapons. Just like steer the ship the right way. And then the other argument for the McCarthy, like you lose the rookie quarterback deal, and like their roster still needs. A couple pieces. So yeah, I don't let someone else pay him 20 to 30 million if they want to, if he gets that Baker Geno type money.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's in the perfect situation. Like, I don't want to say that Darnold's going to end up like Jimmy G in Vegas, but wouldn't shock me depending on where he goes.
Yeah.
Well, off the top of your head, where do you feel like would be the best landing spot for him other than the Vikings right now? Like for next year?
Steelers, baby.
Would he work with Arthur Smith though?
Listen, man, you hand the ball off a bunch and run some play action. Like anybody can do that. Like, it's I'm trying to think of quarterbacks. Who needs quarterbacks?
Like Colts? Is that crazy?
Yeah. Colts could be. I don't know. Are the Colts really giving up on Richardson? Definitely after this performance of Flacco. I don't know, but
no. But that the problem. Yeah, the Colts have a real problem. I actually don't even. I don't know that they do because they don't have a win now roster, right? I think everyone keeps saying that. Oh, the Colts are in like win now mode, but they're not really. Like it's not like they have a super talented roster relative to the rest of the league. They have some good players, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be a team that signs Darnold though. Like that's just like
no. Like unless you have like it's different. Like even Baker, like going to the Bucks was like they had Evans, they have Godwin. Like the defense was still like had some pieces. Like I don't know if they're ever like contenders, but it's also like really hard to tank if you have anybody decent on your team.
Yeah,
like if you're the Raiders, they have like not that many good players. Like okay, it's very easy to tank. Like the Bucks were never in really a position to. It's kind of like the Steelers. The Steelers weren't either. Like the defense was too good to like fully tank because you just always be in games, but. So like I think the Colts are kind of in that where they're better than like your normal tanking roster, but like they're not winning with Sam Darnold or Joe Flacco. They really needed the Richardson thing to work out, rookie deal, and I don't know. We're a bit away from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Darnold definitely is going to demand more money next year than this year.
Yeah.
He is. I think he just. It's not a. It's at the money that he is going to ask for, based off of this season. I don't think that there's any team that should really want to pay him that.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Geno and Baker money, which is like $30 million, and I think I'm taking him third out of those guys. Pretty easily.
Well, if the game is outdoors, I'm taking Geno third. If the game is indoors, I'm taking Darnold third.
It's unfortunate because Geno, I thought played okay, definitely in the second half today. It was just the back-breaking picks kind of.
Yes.
He
didn't have a bad game in the sense that he did, especially in the second half, move the ball and make some really good tight window throws.
Yeah.
But he just turned it over at the worst possible times.
Times. That the pick six was what were you thinking here? I know he kind of got hit, but that was not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Geno indoors. I think we're, it's Mahomes, Allen, and then maybe Geno at that point. This guy's, the indoor numbers are just insane.
I don't know what it is. I feel lucky to have gotten away with that bet, though. Although, you know what? The Puka injection, there was so much bullshit in that game. The bullshit meter on that game was it went all the way. It broke past 10. It was an 11 on the bullshit meter all around.
That was a snowball. I truly, momentum. Nobody can quantify it, but it's probably a type of thing in sports. I think that happens with refs too. There's some. It's oh, this game's off the wall crazy. We're just gonna keep throwing stuff here and keep people on their toes.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that their fourth string right tackle. That guy. I mean, I know they activated George Fant today. I don't know if he got in on any snaps or anything, but it's Michael Jarrell, that guy, and he got rinsed today in pass protection. He also had a huge holding play on a big play as well, which brought it all the way back. That was tough.
Backup tackles, not great. Fourth string tackles, really not great.
Agreed.
I saw this on Twitter. The Lions. Do you think they're the best team in the NFL?
I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL.
Those are going to be my thing. I do think it's those.
I think the Lions are great. Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw people some people are saying I don't think it's particularly close, but I'm yeah, but can they beat Mahomes?
I was messaging someone this week offline, and I don't even know how the topic came up, but he's just I'm staring Chiefs plus 475 Super Bowl in the face right now on Fanduel. Tell me why I don't bet that. Do I watch a different game than everyone else does? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm yeah, fuck. I understand the Ravens are a powerhouse this year. You got some teams in the AFC that could pose a challenge. Chargers, Bills, whomever, Texans at full health. But the Chiefs just find ways to win. The Lions are getting to that point though. They're there, but I'm just trusting Mahomes more than Goff if it comes down to a game where those teams are a pick 'em.
Yeah, I think there's three real contenders. I'll even throw the Bills in there just because of Allen. And I think they're kind of built. They're built very similar to the Chiefs. I can't get there. Ravens, I don't know if they have the defense. That's my concern. And then the Lions, it's am I trusting Goff to do this? And the thing with, go ahead.
The big thing with the Chiefs this year is that they can run on everyone. Even with Pacheco hurt, they found a running game with Kareem Hunt, Carson Steele, Samaje P. Ryan. They can run on everyone. And it makes such a huge difference. Everyone keeps talking about the Mahomes turnovers as a negative, which they are in the past sense, but they're winning games turning it over every game.
Yeah, we had this period of Mahomes in the first like 5 years where the defense was not particularly good.
Yeah.
And then last year it was like a good unit. And then this year it seems like it's a really good unit. And I don't know if we're quite ready for that. Like they're like first or second in success rate on offense. And people are like, is the offense broken? I'm like, no, it's just if the turnovers kind of bounce their way. I don't know what I don't like the Lions. Like I love what they're doing. I just like it again comes back to like, are you gonna tell me that you're gonna give me points when it's Patrick Mahomes versus Jared Goff? Like, give me the points all day. Like, sorry.
Yep. Anthony says Goff and probably frigid January weather. No thanks. That's not going to happen. They're going to win. Like they're going to have home field through the playoff. They're not going to have to play a cold weather game. Look at their schedule the rest of the year.
Yeah, I have them at like 13-4 projected right now. The next best, they have like almost 50% chance of getting the first round bye. The next team's the Eagles at 20%. Like you kind of need a collapse here to not get the bye.
Yeah. What do we make of the Steelers?
Oh man, I don't know what to make of Wilson just yet. I was kind of in favor of the Wilson move because I did think it like you need to throw the ball downfield unless you have Patrick Mahomes to like make your life easier. And that was like the Fields problem was like they were just dinking and dunking their way around and he'd throw it deep it was to Pickens on like a deep ball down the sideline like a couple times, wouldn't throw over the middle. I just don't know if the success rate's there. Like one of these, like against a good team, I feel like the deep ball is just the all or nothing deep ball is not going to be there.
Yeah.
But they just win. Like Tomlin.
Yep. This is a big test this week for them. Like, it will, if they go into Washington and they beat the Commanders, I can really change my tune on that team because I actually think aside from Kansas City, which is now down to plus 420 to win the Super Bowl as the favorite, I actually think Washington's the best Super Bowl bet at 24-1. Like the NFC does not, I mean, Minnesota, I'm not buying Minnesota. Green Bay, also, in my opinion, paper tiger. Eagles.
If Minnesota had Darius, I'd feel better. But even
like
then,
San Fran is the fourth favorite to win the Super Bowl right now.
No.
No.
I think they're the most overrated team in the market.
They have to be.
Like they
That's not
are.
to say they can't win, but at that price, no way.
They are 4-4. They're 1-2 in their division. The Rams and the Cardinals are 2-0, and the Rams are 2-1, and they both have a win. The Cardinals beat San Fran, right?
The Cardinals didn't they lose to?
No, the Cardinals are undefeated in the division. They beat they beat 24-23. They beat the Niners. So like they're already down.
They came back in that game. Yeah. I remember that.
So like, I don't know. Like San Fran is not what they were last year.
They don't have the defense. They just give up too many points, relatively speaking. It reminds me a little bit of Buffalo in the sense that I do think that they can score on anyone at full health. The Ayuk injury kills them too, though. Like, it does. I don't see that being. Washington's the best bet on the board.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win the NFC East. I honestly do.
Yeah, I took them a while ago I can't remember. It was north of 200, I think. Feel pretty good with that. I don't trust the Eagles. Sirianni's like in his head. I said that in the Saints game? He's still in his head with like coaching decisions, game management. But it does seem like 2 years ago we had the Eagles, right? We're like this unstoppable roster machine run into the Chiefs, they lose. Last year, the Niners, great roster. I don't know if the Lions have like that great roster just because of their defense. They definitely have the offensive side.
Yeah, they need a pass rusher, man. They need a pass rusher. This is the thing I'm saying. Like, Detroit is probably playing at home the rest of the way. which team am I going to take that can win in Detroit? I'm taking Washington. Like it's the team that can score on every possession, and sure, they're going to give up a fucking touchdown to Detroit on every possession as well. But like I know that their offense is going to keep them in that game, and it might be like a last, team who has the ball last wins, because I mean, too early to bet Jaden Daniels MVP, asks SC. The problem is I don't think Daniels. I don't know how that would go.
I feel like
would he just end up getting offensive rookie of the year and like offensive player of the year or something like that, but not MVP?
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some like he's not allowed to win it type of thing by a lot of voters. Like we'll give him rookie of the year, and maybe he can win it next year, because it's like the MVP goes like a quarterback, and then offensive player of the year is like a wide receiver, and it's like I get it, but also it's kind of funny. What about the Rams? What are the Rams priced at? 55-1. Does that interest you at all?
A little bit.
I'm just kind of going off of the same feeling.
Man, the Cardinals are priced at 70-1. I like the Cardinals are priced as a longer shot than the Seahawks and Cowboys right now. Like this is what I'm saying, right? It can't be. The Cowboys are priced at 55-1. Yeah,
that's that.
Rams can win in Detroit. Rams almost did win in Detroit last year. It was a close game.
They almost won this year, first week.
Yeah, true.
They almost came back and won.
But I meant playoffs, right?
Yeah. I was thinking of like just at the NFC team, the offense, like your Washington argument of like, you got to be able to score, because what Detroit's rolling out there, like from their weapon standpoint and really from their offensive line standpoint, like the Rams, when they're fully going, like they can pretty much score at will. I don't know how many other teams are like that.
Right.
Like Atlanta, no thanks. Definitely doesn't like, I don't think the Rams really have the defense either, or the Commanders, but like, I don't know. Kirk Cousins doesn't give me the same vibe as, LA or Washington in that regard.
I think it will be really hard for Atlanta to like run the gauntlet in the playoffs, because they have no pass, like zero pass rush. Yeah. It would be too hard for them. Like the Lions might not have a pass rush, but they can stop the run with their front seven, and they have a way better offense. That's not to say Kirk doesn't play well. Kirk's fine. He's been well above average. Good quarterback this year. But it's just not the same. That defense can get carved.
Yeah, it's you're right. I think Washington, I'd have to agree with you, it's probably the best value on the board. Like there's like people, I also like, even if you're not a believer in them, like being 7-2 is just such a, like, I don't want to say they're like guaranteed to make the playoffs. They're not, but like you're so, like you have to really screw up to not make the playoffs at this point, because you already have 7 wins. Like,
Agreed. Jason, bring up those odds one more time really quickly. Like if we look through the board here, right? Like San Fran 8-1, no thanks. Buffalo 8-1, no thanks. Eagles 13-1. I mean, I'm gonna say no thanks. That's not to say they can't win. Just at that price, I don't love it. That was Pittman. It looked like down the field there. Packers 18-1. Packers they just have not got it together. They could flip a switch. The Packers are a team that I could see them flipping a switch. Yeah. But right now, they're not impressive to me. Houston, I don't think they have it this year. Play call Minnesota 21-1. Nope.
Washington, the only other one, the Eagles, kind of, just because, like, I'm trying to think, like, the 49ers, I think, are so overpriced that, like,
it's creating value on other teams.
If I took a portfolio right now of Eagles 13-1, Commanders 24-1, and like Rams 55-1, I feel like of teams that are like supposed to make the playoffs in the NFC, like I think I have a pretty good that's a pretty good portfolio there.
Agreed. Stopped here. Flacco incomplete to Ashton Doolin. Good hit by Harrison Smith there. Really nice. Like looking at the rest of this list, Falcons, no, I don't want them at, like, if I could pick one of the Commanders or the Falcons are going to win the division. They'll play a home playoff game. I think the Commanders will too, but even if they have to go on the road, I think the Commanders are more likely to win the Super Bowl if they have a road route than like they could match up in the first round. And I would like Washington in Atlanta in that game. Pittsburgh 33, no thanks. Like Bengals 37.
Let me ask you this: Chargers at 41 compared to the Steelers and Bengals at 33 and 37.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I like the Chargers price way better than those teams, and they have an elite quarterback. Or maybe you can call them in the second tier, but they have like the Steelers are going to go and win fucking 3 road games with Russell Wilson. I mean, that's assuming that they don't win the division, which I guess is possible. Seahawks, like relative to Arizona and the Rams, why the Seahawks price? The Seahawks were underdogs at home today to the Rams. Boys, like Cowboys are a joke. Fuck, like that's not happening.
Yeah, you just have like the Cowboys. I get because just like there's such fan base. If you like in the futures market, some public money can maybe have you a little bit leveraged in one way. The Seahawks one, like were people lining up? Like I thought the Seahawks started the year well. Like I'm generally a Geno fan, and then like their front seven, the entire thing got hurt. But like them still at 48-1 is wild. Like they're like 10% to make the playoffs right now, I think, in like a true odds. Like that's like, but yeah. Chargers 41-1 might be my favorite. Although I don't know what the AFC
I'm not a futures guy, but some of those were tempting there. Do I want to tie up money for the next few months? I don't know that I do, but some temptation for sure on some of those. Question is whether or not I want to bet the Colts plus 4.5 minus 130 right now. That is a real question.
You're sweating a 17-10 drive. I can feel it.
Yeah, and they're starting at the 40 right now too.
Right.
Oh, I'm definitely sweating the whole way. There's no non-sweat. Been bet out minus 182. Yeah, fucked up. Snooze, you lose. Lions Rams playoff matchup again seems inevitable. I agree. Does feel like it's headed that way. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Lions will win by a field goal. Close game.
Are there any teams?
But they'll get it.
There are any teams that are in the playoff hunt right now that you don't want to make it from a viewing standpoint?
Oh, definitely Steelers.
I was like that. I would say the Texans are kind of in that conversation just because like they've broke like the style of play that they've had, but they can get healthy and be more fun. Like with the snap of a finger. I don't know if the Steelers will ever be fun. Like they're just not there.
No, I would still like to. I know Houston's had a bad year, but I'd still like to see them. I think in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think they're like a.
I mean, they're gonna make
dynamic that I would enjoy watching. Yeah,
it's one of like can your quarterback and like your receiving core get hot?
Yeah, I don't want to see the Broncos in the playoffs.
No,
I don't want to. Broncos, like, get the Broncos out of my face.
The Broncos and Steelers are like the same team for me.
Colts are on the bubble. Like, do I want to watch a Colts playoff game? Nah, it's going to be a pass. Like the Bears are kind of on the bubble, type of situation.
The Bengals are interesting from like just they're 4-5. I mean, 3 big win for them today in terms of keeping their hopes alive. But like they're on the outside looking in, kind of. But like they're a team that I like. If you had to say like who has a chance to like make some noise, Broncos, Steelers, Colts, or Bengals? It's got to be Bengals. Like
take the quarterback. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, Broncos are a good one too.
It's not like it's just. I'm just talking purely from an excitement standpoint as a fan.
I don't want to
Colts
see
are
the
going to
Bucks
start
either.
using timeouts. The Bucks, I don't mind. I actually enjoy watching the Bucks.
Yeah, well, I just think like Godwin, he's done. I don't know how long Evans will be. Like he'll be back, but
Yeah, I think
like
when he
with-
got hurt, it was like 3 or 4 week injury type of thing.
with all their weapons, they'd be fun. Like Seahawks would be fun if they could play inside the entire playoffs, but it seems unlikely. That's about it, though. I think it's those. The Steelers are definitely the one. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get in. Although we talked about it last week. Their schedule is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals could easily sneak in, but they got to be like, I don't know, maybe like 3 out of 10 make the playoffs at this point, roughly. Like, I don't see the value in Bengals futures based off that. And they just don't have the defense to get it done. Like that, the offense has to consistently perform.
Their schedule after the bye week is decently easy. Home against Steelers, at Cowboys, at Titans, home against Browns, home against Broncos, at Steelers. So they can definitely win games. But yeah, it's just the defense is just like you need well-rounded teams. Like that's really that's why I like why we talked about the Chargers. I know like Commanders defense isn't great or anything. We were touting them a bit, but like the Chargers, like defense, maybe they haven't played a ton of like good quarterbacks, but like pretty confident it's probably a top 10 unit, and you have an elite quarterback. So things, and that offense is, since it's been healthy, it's kind of, they don't score a lot because they play slow and they run so much, but like Herbert's been dealing.
He has been. First down here for Minnesota. The challenge now gets to, it's almost impossible for Minnesota not to. Where did they get the first down to? It's inside the 10, right? There?
13?
Or was it 13?
They're at the 13.
So there is a scenario where they pick up a first down and don't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And the game just ends 14-10. That's the best chance as a Colts fan right now.
Do they have a kicker?
Yeah, he kicked the extra point, didn't he?
He went
the last touchdown. Did he? Will Reichard?
I thought they were just showing him.
They were,
Chat,
but he has some sort of injury, which they're close enough now that I don't think it matters. But it's one of those might you're rooting for no field goal attempt, but something to monitor.
Yeah, he is injured right now because I see like some tweets that what in the world could Will Reichard have possibly done to have hurt himself? Will Reichard faking an injury to save his career? LOL. He's got a thigh injury. It's being reported as a thigh
potential
injury.
hamstring.
I saw it get wrapped.
He's been riding the bike on the sideline.
He's fine.
Yeah, man. You know that
okay.
if that hamstring pulls up a little bit on the,
Okay, so I'm watching from 40 minutes ago on one of the kickoffs. He kicks the ball and then he like really starts limping as he's going forwards. So you just got to wonder if it's one of those that's like the ashamed injury, you know? You ever do that in sports, Austin? Like you strike out 3 times in a game and then you like complain about your shoulder or something.
Yeah, little this going on the way back to the dugout. Like, dang. Yeah, no, it could be. You never know. It's also one of those things like it might only show up half the time for him. Like, but then it's like if this is short enough where like he doesn't really have to exert himself, maybe it'll help him out. Like kickoffs, you have to boom it. But you have to, because if you don't get it far enough, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
So, that was the Giants earlier against the Commanders with lost their kicker, and the Niners lost their kicker.
The Niners lost their kicker against the Cardinals. That was the game the Cardinals came
yes,
back.
That's right.
The 49ers
That's
couldn't fucking kick in that game.
Yeah. So that's something to monitor here in the last 250. If he can knock this through.
I'm just waiting for the Twitter discourse when Aaron Jones picks up a first down and kneels at the 2-yard line. I can't wait for that Twitter discourse because you know.
Did you see the Navy football like Twitter account yesterday? Tweet like, we don't care about your parlays or anything. Like, stop tweeting at us. Like,
I saw that. I saw Kevin Durant's tweets at people. I Kevin Durant, I got to tell you, I'm not a Kevin Durant guy. From when he was found out to be having like all those burners.
The burners, yeah.
The burners were one. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. But then on top of that, like, have some fucking self-awareness, dude. Like, you're partnered with a bunch of your league is partnered with a bunch of gaming companies. It's growing the visibility of the sport. You know, even if you feel that way, don't tweet it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, Darnold wide open.
Got it.
Tutter.
Wow.
Who's that? Josh Oliver?
Yeah. Sweating the back door here.
Do you feel like
to listen to you?
No. Yeah. It's. I mean, that I feel like that's not like that's bad process in my opinion. Like right result, but bad.
Yeah.
Right result, bad process. I don't know. It's like, was he really used all game? It feels like that was like what his third pass of the game, third catch of the game.
He said 5 targets.
He's got 5 targets, man.
All right. Well, then
he's the second. He's the second highest receiver here.
If you guys want to give me that for good process, then I'll take that.
I think it was good process.
Yeah. I mean, he got as many targets as Addison. So,
wow.
Yeah,
you'll take that.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, you can stop. You can get off. You don't have to piggyback pat yourself on the back anymore. You know, it was a good bet though. 10-1.
Yeah.
Fuck. I now have work to do after the show because I have to cut that 1 minute out of the final copy. That way, no one can ever know that, except for the people that were in here, that it was a real thing. It's literally seen targets every quarter. Yeah. Oh man. Well, you know what? This makes for a fun sweat, a backdoor sweat, right?
Yeah. Flacco. This is what Flacco's made for.
It is.
Like, they haven't really moved the ball. He's 14-25 for 156. He'll like end the game 21 of like 34 for like 210. And people are like, it was solid. Like, no.
Yeah. Fuck, if he had more yardage, he doesn't have enough yardage for us to be live on the SGP. Because this would be a very, very good score line for him to just, if he needed like 50 more yards or something like that. What are you going to do? Such is life.
That first half, you can't have 92 yards in a half of football.
No,
that's not getting it done. I saw a tweet that was like, I don't know what his line was in the first half, but it was like, I don't know, 6 of 10 for like 80 yards or like 60 yards or something. It was like, yeah, but Anthony Richardson could have been 4 of 12 for 84 and a touchdown. And I was like, fair enough. I appreciate that.
I have to sweat Josh Downs now though, which is the real problem.
What do you have there?
Got a few different bets on him, but between 62.5 and 65.5. Actually, let me just see right here. Just log
the Nails got 62.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they bet it at Fanduel, I think there might have been.
Well, if we lose if we get like hooked or something like that, everyone can just tweet at Hitman and call him a piece of shit for steaming it right before the game.
Yeah.
Although it was only 66.5. Yeah.
He will probably refund you as well if you got hooked.
Well,
and I know Rob was saying he was going to do that too, so you can tweet at Rob too to do that.
I didn't say that. Did you send the $10 yet? Did you send the $10 yet?
Apparently my DMs are closed. So I'll donate to the People Fund in honor of chat.
This guy asked people to DM him, and his DMs are not even open. This story gets worse and worse. It's $10, man. It's $10. It's now like growing into like a bit. So I kind of want to like keep it going on for a little longer. You don't want to be that guy. Like your bit is, you don't want the bit where you're like the guy who welches on his bets. That's not a good bit. I'm not welching. I'll pay. Someone has to DM me though. You never want to be that guy. your sentiment rating is at an all-time low at this exact moment right now. You had got people up, been slowly rising. You've been like Kamala in the odds over the last week or so, but now you've plummeted again.
So all that like this come out like the election betting stuff. I don't know if do you guys bet on the election at all?
No, I lost a
haven't.
lot of
Is this
money
all-
on Hillary Clinton, so I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right, we don't have to talk about it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You can. It's okay. We can talk about it. It's not.
No,
it's too
I
late.
I don't think it's like this isn't like a political stance or anything. It's just like I feel like all the money is just fake. Like not fake, but like I feel like the market is super inefficient is what I'm trying to say. Like all the moves are like it just steams back and forth and it steams off nothing. It feels like this week the only reason why there was a ton of Kamala's team was because I'm sure it hit like people were just waiting for it to hit a certain point. Then the second there was buyback, it just came all the way back. Like, do you feel like it's an accurate use for people? Like, do you think people should be using it accurately, like as a? I don't think it's predictive, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I really, don't.
I would
might
tend
be
to
wrong.
agree with you on a lot of that. Where, I think like a lot of the best models out there are probably sharper than the market on it because of the fact that there are so many whales that are just willing to bet their political opinions and stances that I mean, like Drunken Goon says, all the overnight Euro money on Polymarket is wrongly timed. No price awareness. I would agree. I don't. This is not my expertise, but this is my feeling on it as well. Yes.
Did you guys do a Circles Off episode on election betting?
We talked a little bit about election betting with Count the Money.
I'll find that.
I'm pretty
in the chat if you want to listen to it.
Pretty confident the betting market, like more than a month out, has no clue. I think it's one of those. And then I also am a believer that in the current state of the U.S. politics, like any price above 55% for the overall market, not state betting, is probably just off because it's coming down to like 7 states that are kind of coin flips. It's like an NFL weekend, NFL Sunday. We'll tie that back in the. But like, yeah, I think if you get too far in one direction, it's pretty ridiculous. We saw that in the last. This is 3 elections in a row that'll be that way.
Flacco just wants to eat sacks, huh?
Just get more yards. I saw somebody in
man.
the chat said he's getting more available yards for the passing.
Yeah,
for the passing prop.
I mean, he had someone really wide open in the flat. I guess at this point it doesn't matter. I mean, he's got to look downfield.
Yeah, I mean, if they're trying to win, I'm in the big believer of hit your running backs on some definitely like some early down stuff. Get like 5 yards.
Who's that in the game right now? Trey Sermon. Oh, Trey Sermon, you got to be an absolute bozo not to go out of bounds there. Like just completely brain dead. 4th and 13.
Oh.
Wow. Fucking downs,
you're
man.
Still good though.
I'm still good right now. He's at 60.
Yeah, I'd say
we cannot have another down.
Right on the.
They're just giving it up underneath.
Oh my god.
Okay. Another sack. Oh god. Time to sweat.
Big moment here.
I mean, you're not coming back at this point, Steichen. Keep everyone healthy for Buffalo. And he couldn't even catch the ball. Like this is a penalty, right? They caught him with too many men on the field.
Yeah. Flacco, man. Was that 3 sacks in this drive?
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you expect out of your 39-year-old vet.
The veteran quarterback. Yeah. Both Flacco and Richardson are like terrible against the blitz. It was not a great. I should have bet some under. I really regret that. I really, really regret that.
Yeah, I lean
That's
that
a
way
duck.
as well.
Yeah, no, there's a flag downfield. What's the
Oh.
flag? Are they going to call DPI? I just want the game to end at this point.
Just knee it out.
Oh, Gilmore definitely held. Yeah, it's pass interference. Wow.
Man.
Now there's a big sweat on the spread again.
Yeah.
Now, I will say at some point it is going to make sense for Indy to just kick a field goal and onside because and they're doing it right now. They're going to do it now because you need to, like, if you try to keep driving down the field, you also then still have to drive to kick a field goal afterwards. Whereas you don't need to drive to throw a Hail Mary.
Definitely with Richardson's arm and or Flacco's, but
yeah.
All right, hey, can we have a Hail Mary go our way here?
You might have one go your way. I hope it's not the Josh Downs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was just he might not be in there. He's a smaller guy. You don't need him on the you don't need him on the although he could be the guy in the back though.
Yeah. Because you want as much time left to recover it on offense and move into field goal position, especially with no timeouts. And Matt Gay is good.
All right.
Comes down to an onside kick.
Did you see the onside punt today?
I did. Brilliantly played by Arizona as well. Every single person on the field called a fair catch.
They're going to put a rule in that only the person that catches the ball can call a fair catch. I feel like that's going to be their way to I don't think it really changes anything, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
That play is stupid.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason.
Yeah, they had to punt it. Well, they had to punt it because it was off a safety. Safety was the play.
Yeah, just freaking fire it. Like kick a line drive at the guy in front of you. I'd rather.
I agree. Like they have to learn how to kick like a fucking low liner. Directly at.
I forget there was I mean, people have done that before on like regular kickoffs, but somebody did that. I think somebody shanked one. It might have been a college game like last weekend or something, and like the guy started like running backwards and like he like tried to jump out of the way and it just like hit him right in the stomach. And I'm like, I think that's the best onside kick right now. It's just absolutely fire it at someone and hope for the best.
Yeah, you gotta hope. You gotta hope a bunch of defenders are lined up close to each other. That way, you have a larger target. That's why I would line up all my guys on one side of the field. That way, you get all the defenders within a closer radius, and you could just try to blast one low at somebody.
Yeah.
Timeout, Minnesota.
Yeah, I just saw the fun fact, the long snapper for the Colts. I played sports against in high school. Richest the long snapper for the Colts. The Colts, yeah. Richest contract.
Luke Rhodes.
Yeah. Played against him in high school.
In what, baseball?
Baseball and basketball. I mean, I played against him growing up as well. I did not play football against him. He was not a long snapper when he was playing football in high school. He was a linebacker, but you got to do what you got to do. Get in the league. I mean, I'd do it for. You just sound like a 4-year deal for like $6 million, something like that. I'll take it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you have to be even on both sides now. Lame.
Yeah. So the best way is just absolutely nuke it at someone and hope they like you get a good bounce off the pads or something.
Just fucking nuke it at someone.
Like the good, like the double bounce.
Yeah,
now guys just like tip it out of bounds.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that was a good kick. The Vikings got it, but that was executed well. Justin Jefferson, unfortunately, was on the field for you. Yeah,
I've seen so many of them where it's just like they're good kicks, but it's so hard to get there. Like just fire it at someone. Hope for the best.
Yeah. Do you think if Luke Rhodes read one of your articles, he would say, "Do you? I played against this guy from the Athletic"?
Absolutely not. There's also a long snapper from Liberty named Austin Mock, so he'd probably they probably hang out at long snapper get-togethers every year.
What the fuck is this guy doing writing articles as well? Huh? He's also a long snapper. All right, Austin.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks
Check
for
out
having me.
Austin at AMOC419. 419er on Twitter. Have a good night, man.
Yep.
Austin Mock, everyone. Sunday Night Football is complete. Vikings 21-13. Josh Downs cashes. That's all I really cared about at the end there. What a sweat. It's always a sweat with these unders. Gotta love it. Tomorrow, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. First reaction from the rest of our crew. Cleve TA, Suma, Judah, Eric Pauly. They'll run through that. They'll run through Monday Night Football as well, including some SGP looks. I'm back here, Monday Night Football, tomorrow night in studio, actually, downtown Toronto. Join me for Bucks, Chiefs, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You know the drill, props, SGPs, everything about the game. Drop a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed it. Smash that like button. And if you're still here and you haven't subscribed to Forward Progress, make sure you do so on your way out the door. Appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. There's another Forward Progress live watch along presented by Fanduel. I'll be back tomorrow night. Peace out, everyone.